Working on the stream, working on the stream. Let's see, here we go. Upcoming show, here we go. Upcoming show. JR, hit the live chat while we talk about that. What the hell we talking about? Why am I singing again? Well, I'm sick. This is stupid. Are we live yet?
Oh, so you're saying we're live because we're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the G Show live stream. I am G1 and this is the Geek Out. And pardon me, I'm a little under the weather. I've been a wee bit sick all week long. It's crazy. So my voice sounds like this. But yes, this is the Geek Out live stream where we shall geek out and talk about Sony's disappointing state of play that happened last night, Silent Hill 2 Remake, much to JR's delight, and of course, last but not least, the disappointing box office of a one Furiosa. What the hell is going on with the state of Hollywood? That being said, let me introduce you to the panel, the co-hosts, the cohorts. Starting with, of course, JR, what's up?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm great. I cut down 2 tree branches today and mowed my lawn. I'm great.
You know, I don't like when he sounds like that. That means something scary is about to happen. Also joining us, it's my brother from another mother, G73, aka Megsy, aka my brother Chase. How the hell are you?
I'm hanging in there, enjoying almost the eve of June. Well, actually, it is the eve of June.
It is the, yeah.
You know what that means? It's going to be the end of the year quick once June hits.
Summertime is
Yes.
upon us. Summertime is upon us. You know who else is upon us? The man, the myth, the legend himself, Rob Jared. What's going on, brother?
Games and money and lack thereof it. And apparently there's going to be a massive ramen sale tomorrow at the Asian market. So I'm going to go there. Hi, yes, hello, I'm doing great.
Jeez, don't tell my daughter. She was like, ramen. She's in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen. As you can tell, I am not good. So the brunt of this podcast, until I see fit to jump in, is going to be dictated by my bro, JR. But first things first, before we get into his Silent Hill, we got to talk about that sorry state of play that Sony dropped yesterday, with the exception of one thing.
Okay.
Rob, I'm going to start with you. Did you watch the state of play, first off?
I did. I felt like I was watching an Xbox presentation. Not so much in the titles that were shown off, but just like, oh yay, something new to watch, showcasing what's going to be happening throughout the rest of the year. And except for Astrobot was cool. And yeah, I think that's the best way I can describe that. It felt like an Xbox presentation. Not much happened, and it was kind of undercooked, you know. The dough was still doughy. The cheese wasn't cheesy. The seasoning was off. And they put way too much sauce on it. It drowned out the rest of the flavor. Biting into that was like biting into microwaved freezer pizza.
That's a really good way of putting it, to be honest with you.
Hell yeah.
Brother Chase, we sat down and watched that together ourselves. What the hell, man?
I felt like I was at a baseball game watching the commercials on the screen. I missed the whole 9 innings. Yeah, I don't know what that was. That was not a PlayStation state of play at all. That was a state of PC play. That was, I mean, that was a pathetic attempt. And I know that PlayStation's going to have a big part in the Summer Game Fest, as they were on the partners board that Jeff Healy or Gila Monster, or however you say his last name is, he put up a list of partners for that game event. So PlayStation and Sony were on there. So we'll see what they have to show there. I'm hoping and expecting that's where we're going to be seeing the really cool stuff. But I don't know, man. If Sony said there isn't going to really be any games till 2025, if that's the case, then just don't be there. Just don't be there, because I don't want to sit there and be having expectations and they're not even met at all. But we'll see. But yesterday was a waste of 30 minutes. And I didn't even know it was 30 minutes. It felt like 10. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but it definitely just felt like a commercial.
JR,
But
JR, your thoughts on Sony's state of play?
Oh, I thought we were watching the clone conspiracy because there's so many fucking Overwatch clones. That's all Sony has. Overwatch clones and Dark Souls clones. Got it.
in Japanese anime adventure games.
Yeah, there was nothing except Silent Hill 2, but even the trailer, which we'll get into, I didn't like that trailer too much. No, nothing. I could have took it.
That dodge mechanic really ruined it for him.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's funny. Those Overwatch clones are kind of ridiculous. I saw something today where it was like, for the love of God, please stop making these games. And it had a picture of that wacky character that's supposed to be Star-Lord. And I was like, yeah, they're absolutely right. Look, so you know what kills me? This was Sony coming out saying this is our, our first person shooter in-house in a very long time. And it turns out to be an Overwatch clone. That's not a first-person shooter, bro. That's not exclusive. Like, well, I'm not saying that. But when I hear that, I'm thinking you're going to bring back Resistance. You're going to bring back Killzone. You're going to bring back something that I'm going to sink my teeth into and bust open the damn PS5. But no. Nope. And such is the world we live in today. Where, yeah, that game looks straight like Overwatch. And they did the same thing with Marvel later on. They did a Marvel version. And I was like, even though that did look better, I'll be honest. But I don't play those games. I'm just like, what a waste.
Yeah. I don't think there was a single... No, there was one game other than Silent Hill. And it was Infinite Nikki.
No.
Because of the cute anime cats.
Absolutely.
Other than that, I just didn't care. It felt like they had to do it, so they did it.
They have to stay relevant in this drought right now.
The only thing that got me a tad bit excited, I actually, two things. Sackboy to the Future and Dynasty Warrior Origin. Those were the two games that I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah, but nothing here screamed at me. Nothing here got me excited to be a proud owner of 2 consoles that collect dust. Man, there's nothing, huh? This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. And yeah, like Sony, we just gave Microsoft shit. You're getting it today. You're gonna get it, and it's okay. It's okay.
That's another thing I wanted to ask. What were we expecting, honestly, from a half hour, what they say, 14 or 15 games showcased? I mean, next week is not E3. Whatever E3 has become, that starts next weekend. What were we expecting? Are we going to see anything new there, or are we just going to see extended trailers or gameplay from what we saw last night, Rob?
I'm going to be honest and say I have no idea, because why in the goddamn fuck, pardon my French, would you hold a state of play right before Summer Games Con, where you're apparently, or where people would be expecting you to show off something new, when everything that you were going to fucking show off was already shown off at a state of play? Like, is that a thing? Like, I don't know. It just seems kind of redundant. Is that the right word?
No, it's about right.
That's a good word.
Welcome, Game Z1, to the live stream, brother. How are you?
Hello. I'm okay.
Well, we're talking.
Thanks for asking.
We're talking to Sony State of Play. What were your opinions, if you've seen it? What were your opinions on anything about that half hour.
I saw a highlight reel of everything that got announced on IGN instead of watching the full thing. It looks to be a lot of games that I'm just not interested in, except for like Dynasty Warriors and that last game that they showed off, the
Sackboy to the Future.
The Astro thing, yeah.
Astrobot.
Astrobot.
Their little PS5 mascot guy.
Astrobot, right. I don't know. I miss Sackboy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
As for everything else, I mean, God of War Ragnarok coming to PC. Well, whoop-de-doo for PC players, I guess. It's just adding more to the fire of PS5 has no games every time they put it on PC.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily true. It's expanding the market so they can make more money.
Yeah, but if you buy it on PC, why do you need a PS5?
Well, you don't. It doesn't work
you go.
in reverse. That's Sony's problem and Microsoft. It's like, if you put it on PC, I'm not going to... I mean, I already own the consoles, but there's no incentive to go buy the consoles.
And
They could just...
that's exactly the thing that the CEO of PlayStation said the other day, which I highly disagree with, is that we hope that putting more PS5 and PlayStation exclusives on PC will entice PC players to buy PlayStations. And I think that is the most stupidest thing you could have ever said, because no, that is not. And it's not going to make PC players want to buy a PlayStation. It's just going to make them wait until those games hit PC. That's the most stupid and moronic thing anyone has ever said. And if that's literally how that guy thinks, he needs to go, because that is not how this industry's going. That is not how it's going to work at all.
That's not how this industry has worked for the past 30 plus years.
Right.
No,
Exclusive sell consoles. Period.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is they don't make as many exclusives as they used to. Microsoft,
which they need to start doing again.
Yeah, and until they figure out, hey, maybe you should actually start making games again, they're going to keep putting them on PC, because PC does make them money. So they need to get it together.
In terms of Xbox and PlayStation, I think that might be the opposite. I think they make too many exclusives. Where back it was, about 20 years ago, you had more variety of games that were both PlayStation and Xbox. And now it's really narrow in that division where you rarely get games on multi-platform now. And now it's mostly exclusives. And that's what I think is hurting mostly in this industry. It's not as fruitful that it was, where it's like, oh, every so years we got a God of War and we're excited. Now it's like, okay, it's every other game, or every game now that's out is an exclusive, and that's what's hurting really bad, I feel.
I don't know. I mean, Microsoft buying up pretty much every freaking studio imaginable and then firing everybody because they're dumb is a terrible thing. But at the same time, Nintendo's been using that model forever, and they have not sunk. Nintendo literally, and I hate to say this, but they're the winners of the war.
Nintendo will be the only one to survive if we have another video game crash, because of how gaming has been these past few years.
Yep. Nintendo literally are like cockroaches. They will never die. Ever. And I don't mean that in a negative way, Nintendo. You gave me plenty of love and joy in my youth. I ain't doing with it now. But, Nintendo, again, like, their systems sell. They fucking Zelda and Mario. That's it. That's it.
Zelda, Mario, Metroid.
We're still waiting for Metroid, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, the allure of getting a Metroid.
Haven't sold more than the PS5 sold.
What do you mean? The Switch is like one of the highest selling consoles ever made.
They just reported yesterday that PS5 has become the most successful PlayStation console in terms of sales, and on the list of sold consoles, Nintendo is number 3. It goes PlayStation, Xbox, then Nintendo.
Timeout. I am calling cap on that because their highest selling console to this day is still the PS2.
Nah, the PS4 passed that a couple of years ago. But
It did?
not by much. Yeah, but not by much. We're talking like a couple, like, thousand. It finally did it. But the PlayStation 2 sold more in less of amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, it took the PS4 quite a while. But the last time I seen, like, the Switch sales have slowed now. But the Switch was selling like hotcakes. The reason it slowed is because we all know there's a new Switch coming. So that's just how it goes. The sales dip. As far as like console sales for the PS5, I'm going to look that up because I am curious.
Yeah, this was reported yesterday by their CEO.
Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, go away.
I don't know. I don't trust CEOs as far as I can throw them, but you know, that's just me.
Yeah, as far as that goes, I mean, it is what it is. I'm looking through a couple of different sources real quick because I am curious. Okay, no. Let me see. So I'm gonna verify because I'm checking 3 different sources. Yeah, no, it turns out I was actually wrong. The PS2 still reigns supreme. Okay, so yeah, wow. Because that's the last I had heard is the PS4 outsold it. Okay, so this is where we're sitting at. The PlayStation 2 is at 155.1 mil at number 1. Nintendo Switch is at 141.3 mil. The PS4, 117. And then it's the PS5 at 102, the Wii, PS3, 360, and the Nintendo Entertainment System, which, you know, it's just kind of skipping over Xbox because they don't matter.
Oh, right. You just go to the toy section. Did they have it?
But yeah, no, the PS2 and the Switch. And they're
the 2 selling consoles of all time.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy to think about.
Be under the Super 7.
And see, this is where I'm reading as of right now, PlayStation 5 has 59.3 million units sold. Xbox One has 58 million sold, and Nintendo Switch has 49.1 million sold.
Let me see.
Was that just in this year, though? Because, like...
This is overall time.
All right, no, come home.
This isn't in this year. This is overall time.
Yeah, that's cap because the Nintendo Switch has sold over 140 million units.
Yeah, and that's where I'm trying to look it up right now. Yeah, no, I'm seeing right now as far as like global, the PS5 has only sold 58.1 million units. Which is number 14 out of all the consoles that have been made. That's including like the DS and stuff. But that's what I'm seeing here. But the console sales have slowed, period. I mean, all consoles. That's why you look at the companies and they're panicking right now. You know, they don't have any games. Like Microsoft doesn't know what the hell to do. They're not selling consoles. They're not making games. And they keep spending. Sony, they have nothing lined up that's worth a damn for this year, exclusive-wise. Yeah, except Astrobot. But who knows? Is that game going to sell for 70?
No way.
You know?
Oh, please no.
I can't figure that game is a $70 purchase.
I don't think a platformer should ever be $70.
Right.
Yeah. As of April 2024, yes, the PS5 has outsold the Switch. That being said, that's because there's a new Switch coming. That's supposed to be announced this year. That's what I'm seeing right now, just in terms of as of this year, current gen consoles. And yeah, the Series X and S is doing terribly.
That's why they're putting out that Brookline. Yeah. That's why they're putting out that Brookline model coming soon.
Yeah.
Supposed all-digital Xbox Series. Oh, come on, man.
Oh, that's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's just, they keep taking stuff away. But yeah, no, and Sony, yeah, they're still selling consoles, but they're not selling, like, for instance, the PS4. I mean, the generation's still fresh in our mind, the previous gen. That was flying off of shelves. And now we could get into the economics, what have you, but as someone like me, I've got the money for the consoles. They just don't have games. They don't have shit for me to play. I bought my PS5 fucking almost 2 years ago when the Silent Hill 2 game was announced, solely to play that. And that's just coming out this year. So, that just goes to show, I played God of War Ragnarok as well, but I mean, I'll get to Spider-Man eventually. Other than that, I just don't feel like there's anything to play that I haven't already played on my PS4 Pro.
It's funny about Sony. It's funny about Sony talking longevity. The store for the PS3, I don't know if it just closed or is closing soon, but think about that. The PlayStation store on the PS3 has fucking been around for what now? Shit. 13 years?
Like 15 plus
15
years?
plus years? So that's, say what you will about Sony.
Yeah, I mean, I other consoles do that like all the time. I think the Xbox 360 store closed like 3-4 years ago, and don't even get me started on Nintendo storefronts and how they keep on closing them like 2 years after the consoles end.
Oof.
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
I
still miss the Wii U eShop.
That was a dope shop. That was. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sony, the state of play was kind of state of disarray. I can't wait to see if they do anything next week.
Yeah, for Summer Games Fest.
For Summer Games Fest, but again, now we're 3. So I mean, all right. Let me ask you. This wasn't what, like, remember when they announced The Last of Us 2 and they were in a barn and there was lights everywhere and they had a fucking stage and the fucking live music? This wasn't that, was it?
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't what this was supposed to be, right? Or this wasn't what that was supposed to be, right?
It's the replacement for that because E3 isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
No, state of play is never supposed to be like that.
Yeah, if you want like those kinds of live performances these days, the only place you're ever going to get them is the Game Awards, and those are at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So basically, what we're going to get this weekend is 4 hours of what we just saw yesterday in 30 minutes.
Probably.
That's terrible.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and that's, Nintendo started it. They stopped showing up to E3. They just started doing their directs, and then the companies were like, oh, we're just going to save money, so we'll just do our own thing. But that's the problem. If you do your own thing as often as they do, what are you actually announcing?
And here's the thing is that this was a tough one for Sony because of them saying that we don't have any exclusives to show. But the problem is that what I was personally expecting was there to at least be multi-platform stuff shown. But at the end of the day, then it's like, who does get to showcase those? Why, if there's a PlayStation game that's going to be on Xbox, then why can't Xbox show that as well? And that's kind of where we're in. That's kind of the place we're in right now. And that's what we're going to be seeing next weekend, because then you got Doom Dark Ages, you got Dragon Age, Dreadwolf. But what's weird is Ghost of Tsushima 2 is supposed to be shown, and that's an exclusive, unless it's not. But then again, why are they going to announce Ghost of Tsushima on Xbox as well? I don't buy that.
No, it's probably PC. It's probably going to drop on PlayStation 5 and PC at the same time. That's probably what they're doing.
No, Ghost of Tsushima already is on PC.
No, Ghost of Tsushima 2. What I'm saying is they'll probably say Ghost of Tsushima 2 is day one PC, PlayStation 5. That will never go to Xbox.
No. Anyways, guys, I gotta head back in.
All right, Gabs, thank you for joining us on your break.
Yeah, I'll if y'all are still on in a couple hours, I'll join you again.
All righty. See you later.
Sounds good.
All right.
Rice and beans.
But yeah, I don't know, like, definitely miss the days where it was just like all the big game announcements from all the companies were in one place. The death of E3, it's like, it sucks because yeah, there's rumors of a PS5 Pro, which after seeing what the hell they announced, I don't see a point because they announced
that's the thing. That game you guys are excited about called Astrobots, that's a tech demo. And even though it didn't say it was for PS5, I mean, like a PS5 Pro, that's usually what the game is for a tech demo for a new console. So you could probably expect that to be shown again, and then they announce something like that. But the thing is PlayStation and Microsoft have become so big. They're the reasons why E3 got canceled, was because they started doing their own shows. And then also these game companies have figured out, like, okay, well, we can do our own thing and not have to be with these, why should we share the spotlight with other companies and other games when we can just do our own thing? And that's what has happened, is the companies have caught on, or we can fund it ourselves. And, and now that's just what has happened. It's all a money thing and a popularity thing.
So basically, the spirit of competition has now been destroyed. Because if we were to share the stage, and we're all different publishers, and we all got games coming out the next coming year, and we all get on the stage, on Saturday at one point or another, and we all showcase our games, and at the end of the day, we all go out for drinks and say, yo, that shit look dope. Yeah, that shit look good too. That's all gone because of greed.
Pretty much.
That's fucking stupid.
And not only that, is that the community, when E3 would set up the events and invite vendors would also have to help put in money for this, being like, hey, can you spot us some cash for a certain amount of duration for you to be there? They would have to buy into it as well. And that is a thing where companies were like, well, why the hell will we do that when we can just put our own thing on and not have to put money into a place where we don't want to put it?
Yeah.
And
we could just,
it's all
we set up a green
money.
screen in the office and then we'll just take it from there.
Exactly.
Excuse me. The death of video games is happening. It's happening.
Oh, we're seeing it. We're seeing it, and I'm sure Rob and me are going to talk about, because before the show, when Rob and me were chilling, we were talking about some Silent Hill stuff and the way people react towards games as a whole nowadays. So I'm sure we'll get into that. But
That'd be fun.
Oh, dude, we're gonna have a field day. But it is. It's absolutely happening because games cost too much to make. Why do games cost too much to make? Well, developers, publishers thought that this is what we wanted, but all we wanted were fucking games. I'm okay with a couple of big AAA, we spent $1 trillion on this games a year. I'm okay with that. But you could still have your exclusive, well, they were moderately budgeted, but damn good games. Kind of like Hollywood, for instance, where you have your I can't use that because that had somewhat of a low budget, but you have your ridiculous Michael Bay $300 million or Star Wars big budgeted nonsense fucking movie. And then this new slasher movie that just came out that has a no budget is doing fantastic. It's getting great reviews and stuff. It's raking in money. You can have that with the gaming industry, but they just choose not to because people are dumb.
Are you trying to compare just a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League to Helldivers 2?
No, I'm trying to compare Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, for instance, to
Helldivers 2.
Movie-wise, I would compare it to the Marvels, where it's like they're big budgeted.
All right, that's what I meant.
Flopped.
That's what
Nobody
I meant.
gave a
That's
shit.
what I meant. Were you trying to make the comparison with movies the way Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and Helldivers 2 is? You got your big
Yeah,
AAA
because
game.
Helldivers 2 is a very modestly budgeted hit. Very.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
Where Kill the Justice League is this big budget travesty that nobody fucking asked for. You can have a modest budget.
That is a point that is an occurring theme lately, is You know, even in Hollywood with films, you know, I think the big thing is like, let's look at that Concord game yesterday. That thing literally was an opposite universe Guardians of the Galaxy. You had Green Guy Gamora, Girl Star-Lord, Robot Groot, and big old gorilla purple man Drax. He even talked like Drax.
And his
Yeah.
name
It
was
it
Star
a
Kid.
Guardians of the Galaxy clone, and that's not what people want. That's
No,
not
it's
what
unoriginal.
players want. It's a ripoff, and that's not what players are wanting. And I think that it's ridiculous and just asinine that Sony and just video game companies in general think that this is what us players want, and then they sit there and question when their games flop, like where did it go wrong? We put the time and everything we wanted into it, but even if they do that and the games don't make money by player count, you know, if they don't meet that margin, then they get canceled and shut down. But it's like, but you're making games that are not like, what test survey, what group of field of people did you ask that said they wanted this type of game? And that's the problem, is like they're making these games that we just aren't wanting. And like now Hollywood movies, that might be a different story. That's a whole different avenue. But with the video game stage, at least, it's ridiculous. They're making games for just the sake of doing it, thinking that they're going to resonate with a demographic and that's going to push forward from that. And that's what's killing them nowadays.
Oh, no, I actually think we can make that comparison, because everything you just said about the gaming industry, you could say about Hollywood. They both line up. It's like they're both on the same track record. And then you have these games, these little games come out that become sleeper hits overnight, like movies. For instance, Godzilla -1 winning an Oscar, raking in all this money on a modest budget. It is foreign, yes. But now you have studios like, well, shit, how could we do that? You know, it's the same thing going on in Hollywood. The problem is the gaming industry, they're too fucking greedy, and they don't want to do that. They don't.
Yeah.
There's no profit in it.
That's because
Hollywood, they're both like perpendicular to each other right now. It's just I do feel like Hollywood's going to go off in another direction. Why we're seeing little indie films like Late Night with the Devil, some no-name low-budget Shudder movie playing in theaters. Fantastic movie, highly recommend it. But you see like Hi-Fi Rush winning awards, modest budget indie type game owned by Bethesda, and then Microsoft shuts the fucking studio down because they're not profitable enough.
they want them.
There's no profit in little indie games. There's only profit in the big budget games, but they took
Microsoft-
fucking 15 years to make them.
Microsoft wanted what that company delivered, and then they fucking axed the company. That is a travesty.
They old yellered that studio for no reason.
And that's also the problem with because you know what happened was, you know, Sony greenlit almost 13 live service games, and they canceled like almost 75% of them.
Fuck.
And their plan was to have a live service game. Like, we were supposed to be getting live service games after live service games after live service games right now, instead of this drought that we're in. And now that's the problem, is because they canceled all those games. Now we have nothing, and it's only going to hurt Sony in the long run, because now we're starved for games from Sony as well. But, you know, that's why Sony is putting out these you know, little shitty video game entries and things. You know, we don't care about Concord. No one cares about that game. It's not going to do well. And you know what? I'm kind of glad, because I don't want to see live service games become a norm. I mean, Helldivers is an exception, but that's because it's a budget that was modest and a team of people that wasn't huge, and they had a passion for game making. That's beautiful. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be over monetized and over strict. And with these live service things being shoved down our throats that Sony's wanting to do, it's just because they want to keep growing their investments. It's not going to work, unfortunately.
Let me ask a
They're going
question.
to learn that the hard way.
Let me ask a
And
question.
I agree with you.
Let me ask a question.
And-
Let me ask a question.
Okay.
Who's to blame? Who do we point the finger at for these live service games?
Ubisoft.
With what?
Well, you mean
That's
like,
who I blame.
well, it was Jim Ryan, and then he got in trouble, and then he dipped.
No, like what was the catalyst? What was the catalyst where somebody sat back and said that is the future of gaming? It's going to make us a ass ton of money.
It's a matter of two things. It's one, it's a misconception, but the big thing is investors came out and said, look, we want you to make more money for us to be invested in you guys, and so you need to come up with a way to make more games and keep your cash flow growing instead of staying stagnant. So because it was like, even though your finances are stable and you're doing great stability wise, we want to see money grow. For us to keep putting our money that you're wanting us to help you fund your games with, if those aren't going to grow, then we see it not as an investment. And so it all came down to that. And then they're like, okay, well, Fortnite became the norm, and that game is still making money. And the thing is that's where the industry's at because of Fortnite.
That's the question.
And now
that was the answer.
we're in this spot where we can't make every game a Fortnite. And we can't sustain a game like a Destiny 2, you know? And if you're not in a symmetrical game like Dead by Daylight, you're not going to do well at all. And that's where we're at.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I completely agree with him. 100%.
So Fortnite
I
killed
think
the
it's
game industry.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I get it. Like a live service game, it's probably a lot cheaper to make just because it's all on the fly and you release your battle passes and everything. But I personally see zero fucking appeal in paying $70 to $100 for a game, Suicide Squad, where at any fucking moment that money you paid and all the money you paid for that battle pass is just going to go up in smoke when the servers get shut down. There's no like is there offline play on Suicide Squad?
No.
So there's no offline play. There's nothing to fucking do unless you have an internet connection. Those servers go down. That game might as well just not fucking exist. That sets an even worse precedent for fucking game preservation as a whole. Because it's just all digital. It's all run through a fucking machine. And there's technically no fucking ownership to that. I have no interest in that. I have no interest in that fucking model. And one of the things that I hate the most about these multiplayer games that are strictly just multiplayer is that you'll get a game like, what was that one fucking game where you were hunting the monsters?
Evolve.
You get something like Evolved, which is such a cool idea. And then it's just fucking multiplayer. No story, nothing to build up on the characters, the setting, anything like that.
Cool.
It's
I
just
said the exact same thing. Evolve needed a single player.
It did, and it would have been fucking awesome. And the same thing could even be said for that Friday the 13th game. Remember when there was supposed to be a campaign for that?
Oh, dude.
I do.
The same thing with Predator Hunting Grounds. Ilphonic said they were going to do a campaign for that, and it's not happening.
Well, it's because of the licensing shit. That's the problem, is the Friday the 13th game had a roadmap, and then a lawsuit happened, and they're like, we can't do shit now. Same with Predator. Not a lawsuit. Disney just bought Fox. So that game's fucking gone.
Well, I don't know what lawsuit came around with Predator, but I know that Ilphonic just renewed their license for Predator.
No,
And
not the lawsuit. I'm talking about the acquisition. Disney bought Fox. Fox owns Predator.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yet
it
again,
put a hold on a bunch of shit.
Daylight, you get a company like Dead by Daylight that buys a license for Alien and has an Alien versus Predator skin. So, you know, it makes me very confused on who actually has the say in what right now.
It's probably for a game like Dead by Daylight. I think it's because they have so many licenses. Here's the problem with Dead by Daylight. When that game is not supported anymore, that game's going to be ripped from everyone's library because everyone's going to It's just going to be torn apart. Everyone whose IP is in that game are going to be like, that's back to being mine. It's leased. It's on life support. It's a finite amount of time. Dead by Daylight may still be popular. I haven't played it in quite some time. I think since the Silent Hill update.
Every weekend.
Yeah. So, like, I think when that game's not supported, it's gonna just fucking disappear because there's no offline play. That is an online-only game. It's gonna be treated like The Crew from Ubisoft. Once they don't support it, it's gone. They're gonna rip it from your fucking library.
Well, that's going to be a long time from now because they just announced a whole bunch of new seasons and licenses and several spin-off games and a Dead by Daylight movie. So they're doing good right now, actually, financially. They're not going to go anywhere anytime soon, I'll tell you that.
Hey, that's great. Shit does happen, though. I mean,
and that's true, too.
Keep that in mind.
They did lay off 90 people from their studio.
Yeah, because I didn't think the Friday the 13th game would turn out the way it did. I really didn't. I don't think anyone saw that shit. That game's shut the fuck down, like, at the end of this year.
Well, I'm going to be honest. Ilphonic's not the best game studio either.
Oh, no, they're terrible. But, yeah.
I mean, that Ghostbusters remaster is okay, but I prefer the original better than the remaster.
The remaster was good. I enjoyed it.
But, yeah, no. And that goes to show you, too, like, Dead by Daylight being so successful, it is a live servicey type game. It is online, but it resonates with people. Where it's like Sony's showing off Overwatch, but Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's like, who's asking for that? The Overwatch fans are playing Overwatch. They're not playing anything else but Overwatch. You're not going to take them away from Overwatch. So why even try?
Well,
why even bother? I feel like that's wasted resources.
They're trying to do something different that was showcased yesterday. That's why they started it off with like a story cinematic instead of just the game itself. I don't know how they're gonna make a hero shooter like this game work story-wise, but it seems like that's their gimmick for this game. Now,
hey, I hope it works. I do. I'm never one to sit here and say, man, I hope that shit flops. I hope it works out. I just don't see it. I don't see it panning out how Sony thinks. And I think Concord is one of the remnants of Sony canceling a bunch of shit. And that game was way too far in development for them to cancel. I think that's what it is. Me personally, that's my take on it. It's just one of those, we're gonna have to release this shit. We gotta see if we can make money, because if we cancel it, we just wasted a lot of money on this. And fine. Hopefully, it does resonate with someone. You know, Helldivers 2 resonated with a lot of people, but the previous was really good. The previous Helldivers was good. It built up a fan base, and Sony didn't just axe them, you know, like Microsoft did.
Well, maybe because Sony knows how to treat a studio.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. They don't just buy shit and shut them down.
And then Phil Spencer comes around saying, yeah, I don't know why Helldivers 2 didn't end up on Microsoft. I think that's a tragedy in its own.
It's a tragedy. We should have bought them out. Instead, we didn't. We bought the developers of Hi-Fi Rush. They won awards, and then we shut down their studio. Because here at Microsoft, we don't care, and you know it.
So, all right, let me ask you. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say one more thing. Is that I just also think it's the fact that video game companies also are just out of ideas as well, or they're too afraid of going through ideas that they come up with. Because this is Concord is such a clear Guardians of the Galaxy clone. It's like you can just tell it's just a mirrored image of different character placement.
It seems like game companies want to play it safe. No one's taking risks anymore, and that's the biggest problem. And that's where you go to the indie stuff. Like for me, survival horror for me it's been dead for a while. Yes, we get the Resident Evil remakes, and then we've got the Silent Hill coming up. But what else is there survival horror? It's just not there. the genre died, and it didn't deserve to die. There could be innovations. I mean, we also had The Evil Within 1 and 2. They're gone. That studio shut down.
Wait. So you wanna
studio that made Hi-Fi Rush.
you want to petition? You want to make a petition? Bring back Clock Tower, Sony.
Yes.
Bring back.
Because it's just like genres.
Clock Tower is coming back.
Oh,
That's
shit.
the funny thing.
No fucking way.
Like, yeah, the original one got. I think it's getting remastered by Way Forward,
Oh shit.
and I think they're showing it off next weekend. Actually, they announced it like late last year.
That'll be interesting.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
But
I've
yeah,
been
no,
dying to play Clock Tower.
it's just like we had these genre games, and it just seems like they're all gone. You know, remember vehicular combat games? Twisted Metal? Gone. That genre's gone. We also had, there was a boat one for the original Xbox.
And Crimson Sky.
Crimson
Yeah.
Skies. I love Crimson Skies.
But like we have these genre games that are just gone because the game companies just want to play it safe. For instance, when's the last time you played a genuine hack and slash?
Well, I mean, God of War.
You gotta. Well,
Well,
I
then
don't
you God
count
of
it.
War's not a hack and slash.
That's not
It's turned into action adventure.
That's definitely more RPG. That's a good.
Still
Yeah,
a hack and slash.
it's got elements of it that still remain from the originals, but
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Yeah, you traverse and explore more than
Yeah.
a typical hack and slash. Like the original God of War series, that's a hack and slash. That's like just keep
Like
matching the button.
Dante's Inferno. hack
Dante's
and slash.
Inferno, yeah.
If you want to go by that, then the last literal hack and slash game I played was Darksiders 2, almost back in 2013.
And even that is more
Jesus
RPG.
Christ.
And that's
Well, actually, no. Darksiders 3 came out in like 2016, so that was the last one. But Darksiders 3 was bad.
It's a dead genre, and it's like there's no reason it needs to be dead. There's a lot of people that like that.
actually, you know
They
what's a hack and
just-
slash? You know what's a hack and slash?
What?
Rise, Son of Rome.
Oh,
And
swear to God.
It really is.
Stellar Blade's supposed to be a hack and slash.
It's
Look,
it's a
if
fucking
you're
hack
going
and
to
slash.
bring up Rise, Son of Rome, that came out in 2013, 2014, okay? So, it's been a while.
Yeah, you're right. And matter of fact, I think
Stellar Blade that came out this year was a hack and slash.
Stellar Blade. That's right.
Yeah.
That just came out last month too, right?
So, we've got, what you guys are telling me, we've got one hack and slash in almost 10 years.
No, we got. Well,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the average AAA game now takes 10 years to make. So.
But it doesn't need to. That's my
I know.
point. You can make these genre games that don't
we're
cost a
literally-
lot.
We're literally going to get Fallout 5 when we're in our 40s.
Oh,
when
dude,
I'm in my 40s.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
gonna get Mass Effect until I'm in my 40s.
sheesh.
yeah. But that's I think that's as a whole, and it really did come off in the state of play. You know, we talked about it with Microsoft, but Microsoft is Microsoft. They're not fucking doing anything except buying, consuming, and shitting. That's all Microsoft's doing to game studios. And while Sony's sitting here just kind of twiddling their thumbs, it seems like these big companies don't know what to do, minus Nintendo. God,
Yeah.
they're a train, dude.
And-
Nothing could stop them.
And here's the thing, and this is what I keep wondering too. If Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, knowing how much that game costs to make, and now mind you, this game has cost almost $1 billion to make.
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
Literally, that's not a lie, that is a fact.
So embarrassing.
And do you really expect that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to make those sales back in its first year?
Oh,
Dude, it's going to make its money back. I think GTA 6 is going to play the long game because it's going to
Exactly.
monetize the shit out of it. It's going to be the most live service fucking game. It's going to be live service to top all live service games. I'm telling you right now.
And for the record, video game companies count the first 18 months of a game's life cycle as what's viable. So if it makes back its $1 billion budget plus marketing plus the inflation plus the lending amount that they had to get, which is just an insane amount of money, I don't know how it's going to survive, and I hope Rockstar has a plan with that. But however, Star Citizen is a game now that has now earned $700 million in its production, and it's not even out yet.
Hang on.
And it's still in development.
I want to touch on what you just said about Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto 6 being almost $1 billion to make, and how it... I agree with JR. Rockstar's playing the long game because they're kind of like the... what's that phrase? The exception to the rule. They know how successful that franchise is. They don't need to worry about the first 18 months, and for that, the absolute fact of that statement is just look at Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. I mean, it's unbelievable. So Rockstar got all the money in the world just off of that. They don't need to worry about that.
But there's a trade-off with Rockstar. Is we only fucking get Red Dead Redemption and GTA. Whereas back in the day, they were doing Max Payne, Bully, and they were doing other games. And whenever they do, like the GTA Definitive Edition, it's a giant pile of shit.
Well, it's
because
not
they dump all their fucking money elsewhere.
That's the thing. Rockstar has said that they are going to be doing several remasters in the way of, like, they want to remaster Max Payne 3, which I would gladly love. They're trying to work on other IPs as well with GTA 6 coming out. Like, they have a Dungeons and Dragons medieval style Rockstar game in the works they're talking about. And it has been reported that now GTA 6's budget has crossed past $2 billion.
That's fucking stop it. It doesn't need to be that much.
And see, that's the thing. Like, on one hand, I'm excited to see what's going to come out with this game because there's supposed to be a lot of stuff you can do in the game, but I think it's going to be so much that people are going to be way too overwhelmed. At this point, it's not a video game anymore. It's like a life simulator, and I don't know if I like that where it's going, but I am interested to see what's going on with it. I just hope that story's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
So Rockstar,
Rockstar has some cards up their sleeve, but the thing is again, when will we see these things and how long will they take?
Well, that's a great question. You know what we are going to see real soon? Silent Hill 2 Remake! October 8th, if I'm not mistaken. I've had that shit embedded into my brain thanks to my good friend JR, who yesterday I sat down and watched the 30-minute, what was it called? Transmission. Silent Hill Transmission.
Yep.
And, yeah, you know what? JR, you spoke a lot, and you know who's been awfully quiet? Rob. So I'm going to start with Rob.
That's okay, dude. It's okay.
What did you think of the transmission?
All right, what can I do? Okay. So, and I'm pretty sure Gams can attest to this. When that trailer showed off at the State of Play, I thought, ew, no, and a little bit of no. But then JR told me, you got to watch the Silent Hill transmission because hopeful words. I don't remember exactly what you said, but hearing hope in this man's voice was more than enough to get me to watch it. And watching that transmission, it's fucking there. It's definitely fucking there. And I feel there's this subculture of people that just need to just squat and push the biggest log of shit out of their ass on something because they have nothing better to do. Because all I'm seeing is this is Resident Evil gameplay. Why is this girl not fuckable? And why are these graphics so bad? None of it is pertaining to the 13 minutes of fucking gameplay that we got. that actually showcases the strongest fucking piece that Silent Hill games have lacked in a very long time. It's the big A, atmosphere. It's creepy. It's detailed. You can taste it almost with how much that they're showing off, even in just the gameplay and the little minute details on things that you see in that fucking gameplay footage. The game looks like a completely different game from the fucking trailer that I saw yesterday. It's almost like the people who are cutting together these trailers at Konami have a different version of the game that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
There is this crazy Jekyll and Hyde thing going on with this game, and I have a feeling we're getting the good side. But we're just being shown shit. Just like, I don't know who the fuck is cutting these goddamn trailers together over at Konami. But bro, y'all been making pachinko games. Hire somebody else. I understand you're cheap as shit and everything. I mean, I don't understand how you're all cheap. You're making games literally for people to spend money on. Literally in a fucking casino setting. But I loved that. I loved the interview with the team. I loved watching the behind the scenes with the motion capture peeps. I loved the gameplay. Is it a little Resident Evil-y? Just a tiny bit. But why is that a bad thing? It still feels and looks like Silent Hill. And honestly, that's my piece. That's my pedestal. That's my fucking soapbox, and that's what I'm preaching. I genuinely think Konami doesn't know dick all about marketing, but Team Bloober actually, Blooper, whatever, I think they've got a mild success on their hands.
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna pop off now. Rob, I agree with you. I agree with everything that you've said. The Resident Evil thing, how it feels like that is because I feel like that's where the survival horror camera angles have evolved to. We don't do static angles anymore. We do that, and Resident Evil created action survival horror, and Konami's Silent Hill created psychological survival horror with the camera angles. And it's like Silent Hill always, from the beginning, kind of aped off of Resident Evil, but did its own thing. And I just think we're doing the same shit, and I'm okay with it. And I agree with you. That trailer was rough. I was here with Jace, G1, everyone that's here that wasn't you, and I was like, what? And it was silent, and I was like, I don't like the dodging. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the transmission. The transmission played, and ladies and gentlemen, G1 saw me cry. He saw me cry.
He did shed tears. I couldn't believe it.
Look, I'm a gatekeeper when it comes to Silent Hill. I'm a pretentious fuck. I haven't liked the Silent Hill games since Silent Hill 4. That came out in 2004, funny enough.
Jesus Christ.
The last mainline Silent Hill game came out in 2012. And that was Downpour. I don't count Book of Memories because that's a fucking dungeon crawler for the Vita, and nobody remembers either of those things. Silent Hill has had nothing going on. So when they announced a remake of the sequel, I was not happy. But they showed off that teaser trailer 2 years ago, and I was like, you know what, that's good. Let's see what this team can do. And yeah, the trailers that have been coming out have been terrible. But that gameplay, man, god damn it. The atmosphere. The way it looks, sounds, and feels. It's just like I put on Silent Hill 2 on my computer, streamed it to G1, and I was just playing it. He'd pop in every now and then, and it's like, for me, the remake and the original, it feels the same. And that's what I want. As a hardcore fan of the original series, I want this remake to pull me in. Now, there, like Rob said, there's a lot of people that need to shut the fuck up. a lot of people need to shut the fuck up. Y'all are bandwagoners. Y'all sit here complain because what? One of the female protagonists isn't bangable? Oh, did you play Silent Hill 2? I'm not going to get into the backstory of this character because it is NC-17 rated, and I am not going there on this podcast. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry. Go on Google. You're telling me she's not bangable? Get out of here. And she's 17. What the fuck's the matter with you?
Well, listen, the reason why they're saying that is because we are now an hour into our live stream, and those people need beer goggles. Yes, that's right. It's time to crack the first one. So what if I'm sick? It's not a thing. It's a thing, but it's not. Here we go.
Hey, it's okay. But look, people need to stop.
Oh, that doesn't.
People need to stop. They're bandwagoners for a series they have not had invested interest in. The game looks fun. It looks good. The design changes for the characters, they modernized a couple of outfits from 2001. Oh no, Maria doesn't show off her belly. That's okay. I like that dress she's wearing. Leaves more to the imagination, if you know what I mean. It's stupid shit like that, but yeah, the team talking about it. My God, that was the second tear I shed. Never have I heard someone talk about Silent Hill like that other than myself. Because everything after the fourth Silent Hill has been an American team that, don't know what they're doing. And they're like, oh yeah, we love Silent Hill games. And then they just kept trying to remake Silent Hill 2. Well, this is the first time any studios tried to remake Silent Hill 2 legit. They're not from the US, and they completely understand the source material. Great. Good. I enjoyed everything that I saw in the gameplay trailer. I loved what the team was talking about. I loved their passion. And I think this game, and I said it earlier, I'll say it again. I think this game's going to be a sleeper hit. I could very well be wrong, because obviously I'm a Silent Hill fan. Who else would buy 3 of the exact same Mezco Pyramid heads? That was $300 well spent. That's not including tax. Just to have 3 pyramid heads. This guy. I love Silent Hill. I do. I think it's going to be a sleeper hit. I think it's one of those games where everyone shits on it right now, and then it comes out and people are going to be like, yo, fuck, yeah, that's fire. Kind of like the Fallout show, how everyone was shitting on it before it came out, including myself, and then everyone watched it, including myself, and I was like, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Pretty good. We did a fucking Friday Fallout fiasco with your crazy ass.
So
you
good.
cosplayed.
The video games.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. I'm just saying, I think it's going to be a sleeper hit because the only attention it's getting is negative. And when a game is showing off stuff like the main trailers and nobody's focusing on the other shit, the actual gameplay stuff, that's when you know a game becomes a hit. Konami doesn't know how to market this game. They don't know how to cut trailers. They're dumb. The smartest thing the team could have done, the developers, was release that gameplay footage. Because that won me over. That won Rob over. And Rob, I was telling you yesterday into today, I'm like, go watch it. Go watch it. Dude, I was telling you, I'm so glad you did. Because it just goes to show that I'm right.
Well, you honestly, you really are. Because from the jump, I mean, I hated the fact that this is going to be a PlayStation exclusive. I still hate that it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive.
By the way, it's a PlayStation exclusive for 1 year, then it's coming to Xbox. Just
okay. See, now my dick hard again. We're doing good. I don't gotta roll over now. But like from the jump, it's like, like you're gonna remake Silent Hill 2, like, and then the first trailer is like, oh no, and it felt like every time it got brought up, it was an upset.
Yeah.
But now it's like. Now I definitely have something to be excited for because it's a timed exclusive. Fuck yeah. But it really was just seeing that gameplay and hearing the team talk about it. I mean, so many people are like zeroing in on so many different things. Like apparently modernizing and saying modern audiences is like a trigger phrase for people now because it means that they're going to inject politics, viewpoints, the whole 9 yards. I didn't see any of that in that fucking gameplay.
I
No.
I
did
didn't
not
even see
either
any of that in the fucking trailers.
at all.
There's none of that.
And I'm not.
No.
I never even played these games before, and that does not ring true at all.
Yeah.
Oh. And that's the thing. Like, listen, this is Silent Hill. This is one of the most important survival horror titles out there. It is, next to Resident Evil and then some. Is this a daunting task? Absolutely. Is there going to be people that just don't want to play it because they don't like how it looks? Sure. But that curiosity, it always kills the cat, and it's going to get a lot of people. It really is, especially when that drops, and if the reviews are fucking positive, oh yeah. It's going to be a fucking done case for a lot of people.
Well,
I just hate that fucking subculture where it's like, oh, it's not exactly what I want, so I'm going to hate it. It's bad. Bad. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Go jerk off.
also,
I can't stand it.
Also remember, Doom 2016. I will compare this to Doom 2016. Trailers were whatever, and then they showed off the gameplay. It was terrible gameplay, and then there was a review embargo. But then the game came out, and it was like, yo, this is one of, if not the greatest first-person shooter ever. It's gonna be that again. I feel it. I feel it, dude. I'm
hoping
just
so.
saying.
As someone
I
who's
hope
going
so,
through,
too.
as someone who's going through his real first Doom 2016 playthrough right now, that's a lie. No, it's fun as fuck. Are you kidding
It
me?
wasn't even just Doom 2016. Doom Eternal had the same thing happen to it as well.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
thought Doom Eternal looked like shit, and then it was like, this game was one of the top-selling first-person shooter games.
It's a case of people don't know what they want. And I said it earlier. I flat out did it. I compared Silent Hill fans to Godzilla fans. They're dumb, they don't know what they want, and they really like to bitch about shit that makes no sense.
But I mean, you could even say that about Sonic fans too, but we're not going to open that can of fucking worms.
Well,
not at all.
Wait for Andrew to be a part of that one.
Here's a huge difference between that analogy, as much as it's true. Godzilla and Sonic are for children's. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be for real. Silent Hill ain't for the children's. They not.
No. I'm just saying, like, you know, as far as like complaints,
Oh,
whereas like what the
definitely.
fans
Even
are expecting.
Even though Sonic is technically for the children, have you seen people go off on a new Sonic game trailer?
No. Is it comedy gold?
It's like, oh, dude, it's like Sega murdered their family, fucked their dog, then murdered their dog, and then just like stole all their money and burnt it in front of them. Almost every new Sonic game is met with people saying, they're fucking ruining it. It's not Sonic. It's not this. Where's the momentum? Where's the this? Where's the that? Like, dude, it is like World War fucking 85 every time it happens because it's not what they want. And half the time it sounds like they're talking about something that they don't even know what they want. Half of the fandom was ripping Sonic Frontiers apart, and then the game came out, and everybody's like, oh. I still have some issues, but that's okay. Like, that's to the level of which I'm seeing for, you know, Silent Hill. Because so many people are acting like Team Bloober, whatever, or like, you know, like fucking disrespecting them. And it's like, I don't see what is different between what they did with RE2 Remake and Silent Hill 2 Remake.
If anything, they took more
There
liberties.
is no difference.
Yeah, if anything, they took more liberties with RE2.
Yeah, they did. Oh, they did.
You know?
And, you know, that's called evolution.
Right.
That's how you evolve.
It's how you get
And it's
big.
like, would I have loved the fixed camera angles for the remake of Silent Hill 2? Sure, but, like, you know, like, I don't hate the fact that it plays and kind of looks like Resident Evil. I don't.
It's
It's
sort of...
really...
Yeah, go ahead.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
It's really not this identity death that everybody thinks it is. It's not. It's not even fucking close.
It kind of reminds me of how the latest Final Fantasy game came out, and the director on that game went straight up action RPG instead of turn based, and people were like, "Yo, what the fuck are we doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I would finally play a fucking Final Fantasy game now." I never played it, but that's the type of thing where I was like, because I don't like turn based, right?
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 changed the fucking way we play survival horror. Granted, as it progressed, it got a little wacky and wonky, but then Resident Evil 2 Remake came out, and you're like, yo, this is all sorts of fantastic. So if that's what they want to do with this, why not? Again, I'm watching JR stream the original Silent Hill 2 yesterday while I was watching the Mavericks beat up on Minnesota. Sorry, Minnesota fans. Shout out to Jay Hardy. But I'm watching them play, and I'm like, the only real difference I see besides the fucking uptick in graphics, obviously, is the fixed camera angles.
Yeah.
That's all I really see. It's the fixed camera
They
angles.
modernized it.
They modernized it. It looked like what I saw in that 15, 16 minute gameplay. And it was fine. It was cool, you know? I don't know why people are bitching and complaining. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't resonate. Like, and here's the real shit kicker, okay? Silent Hill 2 came out when, JR?
2001.
2001. How old were you?
I was born in 94, so
God
not
damn!
that old.
When did you play Silent Hill 2?
I got into the Silent Hill series as a whole in 2011 because technically, no. I rented it in 2008, Silent Hill 4 for the original Xbox from Hollywood Video. I rented it from there, played it, got scared when the ghost came out of the wall, took it back. Got back into it in 2011. I was 17 years old. I went on a limb and bought the entire collection, plus a PlayStation 2, plus memory cards, for $100.
Oh,
all the games plus a PS2, dude.
That's,
oh my god,
that's
such
the
a
only
different
reason
time.
why you. That's the only reason why you like this thing, because you bought it for $100 with a PS2. If you didn't buy it for $100 with a PS2, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I don't know, because I keep re-buying the original Xbox versions of Silent Hill 2 and 4, and I'm spending $60 to $80 each time I buy them.
Oh God!
Because I love to keep buying these games for some reason.
Yeah. I'm the same way with Metroid Prime, though, so I feel you.
I was like that with Resident Evil 4. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
I got like 10 copies.
Good.
It's true. It's true. I got like 10 copies of that damn game.
But yeah, no, that game, I would definitely say I was around 5 or 6 years old, roughly. Yeah, around there.
All right,
when Silent Hill 2 originally came out. So, but I've been a fan of Silent Hill since 2011.
Yeah,
so
I should have said how old were you when you played it? That was the more correct.
17, surprisingly. But again, I played 4 beforehand, and I think I was 15 when I first played that. So
no, but that makes sense, because then at least you can grasp the concept. That's what I look at now when people like beefing and complaining about this. The game came out in 2001. The people who were able to play that game were definitely not 5-year-olds, right?
No.
I can't sit here and believe that people my age are bitching and complaining about this when they look anything, they're Jesus, I can't even talk right. There didn't look anything wrong with it. There didn't look, but I can't even talk. Good Lord, have mercy.
I think the thing is like, because the themes in the game are mature, and the people sitting here bitching and complaining, like I was talking about earlier, they either don't understand it because their brain has melted from living on TikTok and don't understand subtext, or they've just genuinely never played the game and are just going off of a game trailer and don't know what actually Silent Hill's about. Because the people complaining about minute things, for instance, like Angela not being attractive, they don't know what they're talking about because in the context of the game, she's not supposed to be. She's 17, first of all, and the reason she looks like that is a lifetime of abuse from her father in many different forms. So you're sitting here telling me you want an abuse victim to be attractive? What kink are you trying to play, fandom? I don't think you know what you're asking for.
Oh, man,
I think
that's
you're
it.
Bitching.
That's it. That's going to save the gaming industry. I fucking got it. Feet Kink Simulator 1. Bam!
Oh, dude, let's go.
Oh, jeez.
There it is.
Let's do it.
There
Let's
it
start
is.
with the goji toes.
Let's start with the Goji Toes. No, I'm sorry. But no, you
I'm
said
bringing back
that.
the 2014 feet debate.
You said that, and it kind of hits in a different way because the gameplay trailer, or what? Yeah, it was the gameplay trailer. Oh no, it was you playing, wasn't it? It was you playing. It was watching you play because they didn't show Pyramid Head in the gameplay.
No, Pyramid Head was nowhere, and I think Pyramid Head and Eddie were not present in both the trailer and the gameplay trailer, which is great. They're keeping stuff hidden. They're keeping stuff a secret. I'm okay with this.
And that's where I'm going. I'm like, watching you play yesterday, I remember you go, oh, look. You said, what did you say, Triangle Head? And I was like, is that a thing?
Yeah, Triangle Head.
I didn't know. I'll be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I never played these games. I only know Pyramid Head because he was in the movie, right? And apparently he's like the mascot. He's like Big Daddy. And I never played BioShock, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, man.
I know, man. My shit, dude. I'm playing Doom 2016 for the first time right now. I can only deal with the latest gen shit. Fuck all that old.
No, you're not. You're playing action figures.
Is about to be 30 years old in a couple of years.
Good Lord, have mercy.
What's the excuse
And you're not
there?
playing Doom. You're running around just collecting all of his Funko Pops.
Shut up.
Listen,
that's true.
That's so much fun. I have them all.
That's true. But what I'm saying, like,
game.
the psychological aspect of this game, when you walked into that room and said, what is he doing? And you already knew. I think you did that to get my attention. And I looked, and there was Pyramid Head with two of those nurse things.
They're a mannequin. I can't remember their exact name, but they're the four-legged mannequin monsters.
Okay, and it looked like they were having Jacob's Ladder sex. If anybody knows Jacob's Ladder, you get that reference. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, what the fuck? See, and that's the thing that I can't. Not that I'm not I'm not a fan of that. I just don't get it. But that to me is like, okay, I don't want to be psychologically terrified or whatever the case may be. I just want to shoot zombies in the fucking head. Like that's my kink. That's my kink. But when you say kink, I can see that, and people probably get into that scene and living out their Pyramid Head fantasies, doing weird stuff. Yeah, it's scary, and then saying, well, she's not attractive in this trailer, and I sit back and I say, what? Is she supposed to be?
No. And she's 17.
Wait, you remember that game that came out, the Atom Hearts? There was a big thing where people were sexualizing those robot women in that game, too.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep. Atomic Hearts. Atomic Hearts,
yes.
Yeah.
And yet the most sexual thing in that game was the fucking vending machine.
Yeah. So real
I'm
quick.
not bullshitting.
So real quick, before you start going, Rob, Ray, I wanted to touch upon this. The Silent Hill series is, the inspiration for it is actually Jacob's Ladder. I just thought you should know that.
I was pretty much aware of that. I kind of guessed it. It looks just like it, and just
huge inspiration for the creative team. And I love Jacob's Ladder. I saw that movie probably 4 or 5 years ago for the first time.
And just like Silent Hill, I don't understand Jacob's Ladder either. I sat there, I watched it. I looked at my cousin. I said, "What the fuck you got me watching? What the fuck is this?" It's Jacob's Ladder. I know what the fucking title is, but what the fuck is it? Put on Monty Python and the Holy Grail, god damn it.
Hey, that just sounds like a fun fucking night, dude. Like, what are we doing?
I'm telling you, man, I'll say it. I love it. The fucking
monsters,
early
man.
90s, man. The early 90s, the early to mid 90s was a fucking trip for me, man. My cousin worked at a video store. He used to close on the weekends. So Friday and Saturday nights, we were in there watching every fucking thing. Renting it, not renting because he worked there.
Sniff Sharpies.
Oh, bro, it was the best. Playing Mortal Kombat up front and Street Fighter on the other side, it was the best thing in the world, bro. But I digress. That's how I became such a fucking movie buff. Hanging out with my cousin working in the video store.
Why can't we just go back into the days where we can just play House of the Dead, the arcade game?
Well, we can. That's available now.
Oh, you technically can. Yeah. The remakes on pretty much everything now.
Yeah, I saw it on Xbox. I was like, what? Oh,
It ain't
man.
bad.
But, yeah, look. Chase, you've been relatively quiet. I'm guessing you've never played Silent Hill yet. You've played pretty much everything. What is your take on all of this?
I mean, so look, I'm in no place to put my opinion on it because I've never, the only experience I have with Silent Hill is my buddy from high school that I played Dungeons and Dragons with. Let me and him watch the movie many years ago, like right after I graduated. And Dead by Daylight, I run around from Pyramid Head all the time. I don't necessarily know enough to like have an informed opinion about the concept of it specifically. So I'm not gonna like trash it or anything because I have two guys here and two friends here that really like it, and I'm in no place to say anything negative about it. But what I'll say is that we are in a world where nowadays, if you don't talk shit about something, you're not cool. And that's how I feel, is that everyone has to have a negative opinion about something, because if they say something negative and they're right, then they're cool and people will listen to them. But if they say something negative and they're wrong, then they're just dweebs. And so that's how I feel like the world has churned now, especially in every fandom, whether it be Godzilla, Star Wars, Transformers, whatever you name it. I feel like that's just where we're at as a society. I mean, but as far as that goes, like I just have an issue with Capcom anyway, so that's why I could never get into the Silent Hill games. But I'm not gonna say anything like I hate it or anything, because I could never really give it a fair chance either. But as in this regard, I just think that people are so quick to judge, and they don't just stop and listen anymore. Stop and wait. They have to. They go off of what they see and what they want out of it. People are so gatekeeperish, especially nowadays, and it's pathetic, and it's why I stay away from forums. I stay away from anything really fandom related because of it. And, I think that Silent Hill definitely Silent Hill and Resident Evil both have been this thing that has had such purist and elitist gatekeeperish type fans. And I think that it's just one of those type of things where, if one thing is off in a Silent Hill thing, or, that's one thing doesn't sit right, it's the end of the world for that. And I think that's just irrational, but it's just how the world kind of is nowadays.
See, and that's where, like, I come in, because, like I was telling Rob, I told the wifey, I told Ray, I told you, I'm the first motherfucker where if there was one thing that set me off in any of this Silent Hill 2 shit, I would be like, fuck this. Because I am a big fan. I'm not one of these motherfuckers that claim to be a fan and played Homecoming, okay? I own all the games, multiple copies of the games, multiple different versions of the games, a lot of merch. Dude, I'm gonna go get a Pyramid Head tattoo tomorrow, I swear to God. I fucking love Silent Hill, especially the first 4. The other ones are kind of shit. Huh. I fucking live it, dude. It's the background on all of my monitors is Silent Hill. I love it. If this trailer impressed me, at least the gameplay trailer impressed me, and what the developers were talking about, then the hardcore purists like me should be on board. The people bitching just a bitch. Fuck them. Go pander. Go pander to your fucking tribe. Go. Because Silent Hill has never been sexy. Maybe the monsters, because that's the point in Silent Hill 2, but Silent Hill's never been sexy. Silent Hill's never visually appealing to the eyes in any way other than the monsters in Silent Hill 2, because that's the point.
And that's another thing too. We're in a situation now where our society thinks that, maybe not think, but they don't realize this, but we've become too comfortable with expressing our inner demons.
Yeah.
And, you know, not that I'm saying if you want to go and have a necrophiliac type kink, or, you know, be into some type of demonic woman and want some type of strange bestiality or whatever, that's all on you. But maybe you shouldn't voice that. You should keep that to yourself.
Wait, Chase. Are you saying that when I watch the original Evil Dead and Linda is sitting in the doorway laughing, that if I get a little bit of a chub on, that's wrong?
No, but you don't have to project it on everything.
I'm telling my buddies about it.
Hey, I'm just saying, I don't know what it is, but I'll be like, oh, look at that
We
woman.
know, Ray, you need to go to church.
It's Jesus.
No,
Wrong
I
me to
think
God.
that there maybe there's just certain things that our society has become too comfortable with embellishing, and we don't. When I mean we, I mean they, and it's just we don't think about it before we speak, and it's become a thing where it's like, you have to respect my evil or dirty quirks, and if you don't, then, you know, fuck you. And it's become a thing where like everything has to be still sexualized, and it's just weird, you know.
And that's my biggest gripe right now. It's not the game, it's the people who claim to be fans sitting here. I don't know if they're just dumb or just haven't played a Silent Hill game, but sitting here saying Angela, who is a abuse victim, 17-year-old abuse victim, her entire life from her father, needs to be sexy. I'm sorry. It wasn't there in the original game, and it's not here in this game. And if you are a fan of Silent Hill 2, the original, and you understand the story, you understand all of that, and you are saying that Blooper Team is in the wrong because they didn't make her physically attractive, get the fuck out.
You know what?
You are a whiny little bitch, and you need to be slapped.
You know what? It's funny how
Fucking
a half hour
ridiculous.
ago. It's funny how a half hour ago, JR said, "No, I'm not going to even tell you about her backstory," and yet here we are.
Oh no, in detail, I'm not going there in detail. Are you kidding me?
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
That
But
means
no,
you
I'm
gotta
just saying.
play the game if you want to know.
Play the game. Silent Hill 2, you can play it, the HD collection, which is a terrible port, but you can play it on the Series X, the 360 version. You can play it on your PS3. If you have a PS2 and have a copy of Silent Hill 2, you can play it there. It's on PC. There's an enhanced edition. Modders have retooled it. They're adding ray tracing to a game from 2001. Actively working on it, and it's free. You can go ahead. There's ways to play it. You don't have to support this remake if you don't want to. The original exists. You're going to go buy a physical copy. $200 is the going rate. And if you want my copy, $500, baby. Let's go. Wet my whistle a little bit.
Rob, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
With these remakes coming out over the last 6 years, right? Starting with the RE remake, right? RE2 remake.
Yeah.
Especially with Dead Space that just came out, last year?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Last January, to be exact.
Last January. The publishers have been taking liberties. They've been adding on. Watching the Silent Hill transmission yesterday, what would they, Blooper, right? Bloops?
Yeah, Blooper Team is
Blooper
the
Team.
developers.
Blooper.
They said
Blooper.
that while they are staying true to the game, and damn near every sense of the word. I mean, they got the original composer to come back. I mean, they literally are doing everything in their power to remake Silent Hill 2 for today's generation. But they also said that there's going to be extra things, a couple of liberties. Rob, in this day and age, is that warranted? Do you think they're going to maybe downplay certain things because, I don't know, maybe people might be too sensitive? Or do you think that you should ramp it up because it's Silent Hill? And that's the way this game was originally intended to be.
When it comes to Silent Hill, I don't think downplaying the major piece of and point of the story is what you should do, because that's part of what people connected with. That's part of what people liked about it. It was a game telling a story that I don't think many or any games were really telling at that point in time. That's a big part of Silent Hill's identity, next to the monsters, the atmosphere, the music, everything. So I don't think downplaying it is much of a good idea. I don't think you really need to up the ante on it either, because it is pretty, heavy. But if they want to expand on it, if they want to, add a little bit more details to certain things, that I'm definitely up for. Because, I mean, when you put too much into it, then it becomes too much. When you take too much out of it, then it feels lacking. But when you expand on it in the tiniest of ways, I feel like that speaks to the team's passion more than just we're going to make it better. We're going to make it lesser. We care about people's feelings. It's this is not the game to care about people's feelings with. This is one of the last games you should take people's triggers into account with, because it's just that game. It can be rude. It can be cruel. It can be a lot of things, and not all of it's going to be positive. And that's what I always like about purgatory.
You're basically in purgatory, so it's we gotta be mindful of people's feelings.
No, there is no feelings, and that is something that I really hope they stay true to, because you are fucked. This is fucked the town. There is no bright, shiny light at the end of the tunnel all the fucking time in this place. And when you do get that, you hold on to it. It helps you connect with the character and his plight more. Here, it's just adding more to that, taking away from it's just that's off the table. It's Silent Hill, especially Silent Hill 2, the fucking darling of the franchise. It's bro, it'd be like remaking Godfather and turning everybody into a bunch of Greek.
Yeah.
So
no, and the themes present in Silent Hill 2, it touches on so many different themes. One of the heaviest is suicide. There are multiple characters in the game that at different times in the game contemplate suicide. It's there in the game. Do not take that away. That helps characterize. It builds upon characters. Don't take any of that away. Expand, yes. Expand. More of Mary and James. The main character's James. The whole point, you got a letter from Mary. Expand upon their backstory a bit more. That's stuff that I would enjoy. It doesn't take away, it builds. Stuff like that would work. It would work. Taking away the heavy themes waters down the entire experience. And that's what Silent Hill 2 for me is, the original game. As I beat it in 2 hours, did a speed run because I was just fucking around. But it is an experience. Your first time playing it and really paying attention to the themes and everything, it's nice to experience. It throws different emotions, conflicts your emotions. Very emotional game. Very emotional game. And I hope that's all still there. But people are dumb. People are dumb.
You know what was an emotional game?
There's a reason it's an M-rated game. There's a
Right,
reason
yeah,
why it's held in such high regard, not just for what it did, but for what it showed and for the story it told. If, I mean, the game exists. It's existed since 2001. Look up a playthrough. Look up a fucking review of it. Look up into the themes. You shouldn't have to neuter a game because your feelings or past experiences or anything. Just don't play it.
And that's a thing where it's like nowadays it just seems like when you give things a mature rating or a rated R rating and it says for mature audiences, people just ignore that. And it's like if it says it, it's like, who are you to say we're mature? It's like, that's exactly the point. You need to be mature enough to understand that this is fiction. It's not reality. And if you act like it's not catering to you because of your feelings, that's where the problem happens, and that's a big portion of what our society has come today.
That was beautifully said, Brother Chase. Fuck.
Oh, it was so good, dude.
It really was.
Those mozzarella sticks with a nice little cup of marinara right there. God damn.
You see, that
damn.
shit just got me ready to just say, fuck all y'all. I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck y'all. You mad? What? I don't care. Fuck me too. I'm mad. I don't care. Fuck me. Fuck. Don't fuck me, please. Please don't. It hurts. No, honestly, that was beautifully said, Chase, because that is unfortunately the reality of what we live in today. And it drives us crazy. It drives me crazy. I mean, again, I came up in a world where I could go see a rated R movie with my father. It was the norm, and I wasn't offended, and he wasn't offended by taking me, and they showed some offensive shit, but it's just like, we knew what it was, fiction. It's a fucking movie. Yeah. It's to escape reality for however many hours, minutes.
Like people get so upset with jokes nowadays too. It's like, you don't understand that this is a form of entertainment or media, and you're getting upset about it, because it offends you, because you're uncomfortable with it.
Oh,
and it's just become so toxic in our society, and that's what kills our media. That's what kills our entertainment. That's why movies aren't doing well like they were, or like how they can be. It's just a big thing that has changed how we consume as a consume anything. If it makes us uncomfortable or not feel like it highlights our feelings or our mindset or views, then we trash it and talk shit about it and destroy it. And that's just not fair.
I now know who is the cause for all of this.
Did you put on your emperor robe?
I did. Look, I'm Palpatine. Unlimited power. I gotta stop, man. My throat hurts and I'm doing stupid shit.
Unlimited flower.
You know what it is? Chase, you hit it on the head. Why can't video games succeed? Why is that? It was the toy collectors collecting debts from the fucking 80s. Oh, we can't make fucking 30-minute commercials for our toys no more? Hold my nuts. You just wait. In 35 to 40 plus fucking years, we're gonna rape your fucking system. Everybody's gonna turn to toys. You know why? Because they're innocent. Because they don't offend. I mean, look at this. I got Spider-Man. Oh, shit. Spider-Man. Oh, shit. Hedora. I should have done that.
Spider-Man just fucking died.
I should have done that. But damn, that was such a good pose. I had Hedora in too. Fuck. But yo, this is the problem. I got figures. Y'all got figures. Everybody's got a figure now. They're not offensive. They're not offensive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Depending
go.
on what kind of figure you buy.
Well, that's true. That is true. That
Some
is
big titty anime girls that would like to have a word with you.
My point, though, is toys, for the most part, are innocent. They're for children to play with. We all grew up playing with a toy in one shape, form, or another, right? As adults, we might play with different types of toys, but that's a different podcast. That's the NC-17 one. We're just rated R here, okay? The motherfucking toy companies, Hasbro, Kenner, Playmates,
Mattel,
they all said...
Fisher Price.
Good God Almighty, Fisher Price is the fucking. That's the one. They all said, "Yo, you shut us down back in the day. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll come back even harder." And think about it. Think about it like this. You look at Hasbro. Take Mattel. Mattel, for instance, Masters of the Universe, right? 30-minute commercials. And now what do? They sell those fucking toys for like 35 to 40 fucking bucks. Dope details, sometimes even more. It's crazy. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, man. It was the toy companies all along. They plotted this whole thing. They systematically took down Hollywood and the video game industry because they said, they took down TV first. They invested in Netflix, Amazon Prime, all that shit. Think about it like this. Amazon Prime now has commercials if you don't pay a $3 extra surcharge. Oh, what are they putting on? Mattel commercials. He-Man.
Every time, dude.
Amazon right now has the license to He-Man, and they just casted He-Man. They just casted him. I don't know who he is, but literally this week, tell you, bro. You think I'm lying? I'll be dead when that truth comes to light and y'all all say, fuck it. He was right. It's the toy companies. All right, I digress. That was my sick rant and rage and rampage, whatever you want to call it. Ugh, I'm sorry. Tangent.
Hey, you're good, man. Listen,
Tangents are fun.
I think pretty much round out the Silent Hill segment. I'm impressed with what was shown. I don't like the dodging mechanic, but like I was talking to Rob about earlier, I understand its existence and the fact that in the gameplay trailer, you still can just not fight the monsters. You can run past them or sneak around them. I think that's great. I think the developers are going to do fantastic things with it. And I think the fans need to get it together. They need to get it together. Look at that Hedra. Look at that. Spider-Man's hanging off Hedra.
It's the only way.
The fans need to get it together. Listen, stop complaining about abuse victims not being attractive. They're 17. Be a man.
Oh my God. You know what? You fuck. Rob, any last words on Silent Hill?
Little bummed I gotta wait a year for it to come to Xbox, but I'm excited for it.
You got a PC, Rob?
Huh?
Do you have a PC?
No.
Oh, all right, never mind. Because I was like, I think it's probably gonna be on PC too.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
Honestly, bro, I'm just saying, not a bad time to find a used PS5. It wouldn't be. Dude, my mom and pop shop, they get used PS5s and they sell them for $350, $400 with the disc drive. So, no, you could find them. You just gotta look.
The new Switch is coming out, and I don't know if Metroid Prime 4 is going to be exclusive to that or on both. And Metroid's my thing, and I gotta wait for that.
You know what? This is what we'll do. Since I'm buying it on PS5 physically, and I'm also buying it on my PC, one of these days I'll just stream it to you guys on Discord. We just have a hangout session, man. We can all experience the fucking game.
We can all feel bad together.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's not too silent on this hill, if you ask me, Ray.
Oh no, Silent Hill ain't fucking quiet. I said it last night. All the noises, I'm like, why is it called Silent Hill? I can't even hear myself. It's so fucking loud.
Well, I guess that'll conclude this Silent Hill. JR, you said what you needed to say. I've got nothing to say about it. But, you know what? We didn't touch upon the Silent Hill movie coming out. Return to Silent Hill.
Yeah, so if you got on Facebook, Rob, I'm pretty sure you watched it when I was having my meltdown because the post office is stupid.
Yeah, I did.
So, what did you think?
Honestly, it looks and feels like the first Silent Hill movie, and I'm kind of all here for it, man.
Same here.
Like, there's some rough edges, definitely some rough edges, but it's an incompleted movie at this point in time, and I'm excited, and I don't feel foolish for being excited.
Yeah, like, And my thing with it, because the wifey really liked it, she's hyped, and I was like, yeah, Christoph Gans with the original Silent Hill movie that came out in 2005, 2006. It was a fantastic movie. It really was. And it feels like Silent Hill 2, but Silent Hill 1 the movie. And he married him with the style. And it's not supposed to be a direct adaptation. And I'm okay with that. You know why? Because the original game exists. The remake exists. I want to see his vision for this movie.
I like the idea that it's the original director coming back from the first movie. Did he do the second Silent Hill movie?
No, so funny enough, the second movie was directed by Michael J. Bassett, who did like 2 episodes in Ash vs. Evil Dead, but that movie was, so it didn't have the original director, cinematographer, or writer, because the writer was in prison because he had a DUI and hit somebody right after the first movie came out. He's an idiot. Christoph Gans was busy directing another movie, and the studio just stopped caring at that point. So that's what the Silent Hill Revelation was. It was a conglomeration of a lot of stupid. And then the movie came out, and I vomited.
Yeah. That was not a fun theater-going experience, even in 3D.
Oh, the 3D gave me a fucking migraine. Why make a site? I'm not gonna do it.
It was a product of its time.
I know, but
product
good
of
God.
its time. Yeah, that was. I didn't see the second Silent. I saw the first one in theaters. I did. Without even playing the game. I was just like, video game adaptation. Maybe it'll get me into the game. And I was like, it was a good movie. I enjoyed the first one. I think I own it. I do. I think I might have bought the DVD in Hollywood Video. But yeah, not for nothing. Watching the behind the scenes of making that movie yesterday, and just, I'm a sucker for shit like that. I appreciate the little things like certain camera angles that ape the fucking game itself. I think that's cool shit, you know?
That urinal shot, dude.
Yeah,
that
was
is
a good
1
shot.
for 1 from the game.
That was a good shot. So I'm saying here, and I'm saying to myself, while you're playing Silent Hill yesterday, I go, if they do that shot where you can see Pyramid Head behind the bars, and that's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking dope. But, I mean, who knows? You know why? Because Hollywood seems to be all fucked up. All fucked up. And you know why? Because a movie that should have been better received. Now, let me rephrase that, because it was greatly received. But a movie that should have done more has not done anything near expectations. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Hollywood segment. We got to talk about this because Furiosa did not make the money they projected it to make. Now, there is a bunch of factors at hand here. A bunch. And you cannot blame the movie itself, because from everything we hear, this is a great movie. It's a great movie. But unfortunately, it just did not hit the way it was Warner Brothers that distributed this. I think it was Warner Brothers.
I believe so.
Yeah. It just did not hit the way they thought it would hit. So I'm going to start with you, Rob, because I know you are our resident fan of Mad Max Fury Road. You haven't seen Furiosa yet, right?
No, unfortunately, I've not been able to get to the theater to see it. It's been a pretty crammed week of bullshit.
I hear you.
Unfortunately.
But let me ask you, what do you think of this? Did you see this coming?
No, not at all, honestly. I mean, the press tour, the fucking 11 minutes standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival, I thought, it looked like this movie was essentially being poised to be the next big earner from fucking cinemas, Hollywood, the whole 9 yards. It just seemed like the stars aligned. George Miller got his time after getting jerked around by WB for however many years. And it just seemed like everything was right with the world. And then seeing that it just nearly beat out that new Garfield movie it's really upsetting, because even though I haven't seen it, I know how George Miller makes his movies. I understand that he has a coherent vision for them and he doesn't break or bend for that. And I respect him for it. And it's just really, really upsetting and disheartening to see the movie turn out to be this way. And it's equally as upsetting and disheartening to see that people are saying that they want nothing to do with it because it's a female lead and they're calling it woke, when Mad Max as a franchise is probably the furthest goddamn thing from fucking woke.
Well, I mean, I don't know. One can argue it is the most woke movie franchise of all time, because, I mean, climate change, well, that was nuclear. Never mind. You're right. I like to look at it as climate change, but
yeah, but like, you know, like, I think this comes back to what we were saying about Silent Hill and how people are receiving it. It seems like all of the issues people have and all of the people who are saying they have issues haven't seen it. Because everybody who has seen it is just like, this is fucking fantastic. And I don't know, like, I'm pretty sure we've discussed Hollywood's folly in the past on here, and we all know that a turn for big budgeted movies and AAA movies, if you want to call them that, was definitely on its way. I just was not foreseeing it to happen with this project.
yeah,
Not at all.
I agree. Not to the extent it is. I didn't think it was going to make. Well, no, but then again, I mean, fucking Fury Road had legs, had the word of mouth,
It
had
did.
legs. That's what really put that one over. What kills me with this is this has a stellar cast. Anya Taylor-Joy is great. Fucking Chris Hemsworth is great. You know what? Maybe people. You know what? Okay. And I'm not saying this for the sake of saying this, but maybe WB was going after this movie promoting Chris Hemsworth. You know, they didn't do it this way, but look, we got Thor. You love Thor, right? You love this guy. And then what we get is a prosthetic nose, a voice that sounds almost like mine right now with the fucking nasal, just a weird high-pitched voice. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that appealed to people. I don't know. This one is a very, very curious case. This one right here, this needs to be studied as to why did this fail. Now again, I have a couple of reasons. I think it's a very niche market. Mad Max isn't one of those franchises that people just run out to see. Plus, it didn't lead with Mad Max. It led with Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, or whatever they called it, a Mad Max movie. I don't think it's because...
However, we do have Alien Romulus coming in August, so we'll see.
I think. Hold on a second.
While he gathers his thoughts.
No, hold on. It was the stream.
I'm allowed to take forever to gather my thoughts.
You know what? The fact that you just meted yourself is perfect. That's fucking great.
All right. No, sorry. I saw that the stream was buffering, so I was just checking on it real quick. Okay. So my thing is, Mad Max is, I wouldn't say it's super niche, but it's niche. And I think we talked about this before. I see Mad Max the same way I see, like, the Chronicles of Riddick. Like, there is a market for it, for sure. and there's a lot of us, but I don't think it's big enough to warrant, like, first of all, Memorial Day weekend. Come on, nobody's in town. Like, I know all they had to go up against was Garfield. I understand that, but
it's a good weekend to drop a movie, man. Memorial Day weekend is usually solid.
It could have been back when, but
no,
where I live was a ghost town Memorial weekend. Everyone left.
But I'm talking about in the
thing is, as I agree with JR, in my whole town, everybody graduated almost a week prior, but everyone went camping.
Yeah, everyone goes camping. There's graduation parties. No one's going to the movies. Now, it could be different areas. I'm not speaking, but I'm just saying, I think that attributed to it. And yeah, very niche. I mean, just Furiosa. For me personally, I wanted Tom Hardy Mad Max continuation. Furiosa didn't intrigue me. I'm going to see the movie. I'm just not going to go to theaters. I mean, I don't see the point spending the money when it's just going to go on video on demand here shortly. I know I'm the problem, but that's the thing is it's not what I preferred out of a Mad Max continuation. I wanted Tom Hardy to reprise his role. Furiosa as a character in Fury Road, not a bad character. It's just I like Mad Max. There's a reason why I like the Mad Max movies. I like Mad Max as a character, and I wanted to see Tom Hardy continue it. Anya Taylor-Joy is a fantastic actress. I love her in everything that she's been in. And I'm sure the movie's phenomenal, but I just don't think Mad Max is a seat seller. I don't think it's the same thing with the last Riddick movie, where it was like, we were excited. It was before I met you. I was excited. I went to see it in theaters, but it's very niche. There were 6 people in the theater.
The problem with the last Riddick movie was they completely dismissed the Chronicles of Riddick and went back to Pitch Black.
Yeah.
And they should never have done that. They give you a little bit of exposition in the beginning, but they should have never have done that. They should have literally continued with him sitting on the motherfucking throne. Like Conan.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's where I fucked up, because that's the best Riddick movie. I
agree with you on that.
The best Riddick movie is
100%.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh, yeah. But with Furiosa, it's a prequel story to flesh out the story of Furiosa. That's good. And it was apparently supposed to come out like right after Mad Max Fury Road. And it didn't.
A couple of years.
And Warner Brothers, they're to blame. There's a lot to blame on it, and I get it. But at what point do you just realize that came out a while ago, Fury Road? Is this the direction to go? Again, people are loving it. People are really loving it. They're actually referencing The Road Warrior, which is my favorite Mad Max movie, and it's got me intrigued quite a bit. But is a prequel to a character in a movie that came out X amount of years ago the direction you want to go? Because it doesn't seem like we're continuing the story. It seems like we're staying in place or going backwards. Whatever you interpret from that's on you. For someone like me, Tom Hardy, come back, please. I want to see Mad Max rebuild that fucking Interceptor, the last of the V8s, just so it can get destroyed. Stop blowing up. Stop destroying the fucking car. Stop with... I love that. I've always loved that. It was a Ford Interceptor, the last of the V8s. I love that so much. The car is iconic. Does this movie have the car?
Mel Gibson needs to come back. That's the end of the game.
Oh yeah, dude. Mel Gibson, come on. Let's get real here.
You want to make
Mel Gibson's a fantastic actor. He is.
Make a Mad Max movie. Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, I was just gonna say the only thing unfortunate about all this is a lot of people shared JR's viewpoint in all this. They wanted a Mad Max movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what sucks about all this is the Mad Max movie you want was going to happen if this movie did well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like, I don't think that should have rode on it, me personally. I think maybe the Furiosa could have been like a back burner kind of thing. You could have done a continuation of Fury Road. Maybe Furiosa tags along with Max for a little bit for like a quarter of the movie, and then he's like, Ejectocito cuz from Too Fast, Too Furious, kicks her out, and he's like, okay, and then we follow his adventure. I don't know.
I'll let you finish.
No, I was just saying, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say because Mad Max, like Fury Road turned numbers, but I don't think, well, any of the others really turned big theater numbers. It's niche, man. It's niche.
Yeah, no, it made money as a niche movie. It was like A24 back in the 80s.
Yeah, it was a crazy Australian dude that made movies. He made two good Mad Max movies and then Thunderdome.
It had a $150 million budget and it made $340 million worldwide.
Which one?
Fury Road.
Now, Fury Road turned a profit, but that wasn't a massive profit. I mean, it's not. It's a good profit. It is. I'm not going to downplay that, but it's not.
But it also
500 to 600 million.
It's also a sequel that came out at the time where sequels were the norm. Like sequels to old movies, right? 30-year-old movies. Let's do it. All right, let's do Mad Max.
Yeah.
Why? Because to me, in all honesty, if you're going to do a Mad Max movie, do a Mel Gibson Mad Max in real time. What the fuck are we waiting? Like, why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? They did it with Blade Runner.
Oh, no. I'm all for that. I just don't think people are ready for Mel Gibson to come back. It'd be nice.
Yeah, Mel Gibson even want to come back?
Mel Gibson has a lot of bad reputation around him right now.
Mel Gibson is one of the greatest actors of all time. I am sorry. Oh, by the way, we're 2 hours in, 2 hours into the stream. Yeah. Mel Gibson is one of the greatest actors ever.
Was awesome.
Dude, yes. I can't name you a bad Mel Gibson movie that I've seen. I cannot name you. Maybe Lethal Weapon 4, but it still had its merits.
Yeah. Did you see Daddy's Home?
No. See, I said the ones that I've seen.
Or Daddy's Home 2?
No, that's what I said. I said, is that even a movie?
Daddy's Home 2, he plays the dad to Mark Wahlberg.
Oh,
that's brilliant.
Yeah, no, I never seen. I know what you're talking about now, but I've never seen that movie. I'm talking about.
In my opinion, I see it also as that the curse of movie placement has become a big factor.
Explain that.
I think that March and April for sure had one of the most packed months for movies that we've seen in a while. March and April have become technically the new spring's the new summer releases. Yeah. And even look at those movies. Look at all those movies that came out after Godzilla. Those movies did not necessarily do well. I mean, Civil War made money for itself, but none of these movies broke that much money after their domestic box offices. Now, even Ghostbusters was another one that did not do well in that regard, and that's another shame. But I think in this case, because you would think a movie like Mad Max, especially I don't know about the tentpole. I think there's a lot of factors contributing to it. I mean, for one, I also believe that Hollywood thinks that there are certain actors that are going to grab people that aren't going to grab people anymore. I personally can see that being a thing where, I don't think necessarily Chris Hemsworth anymore has that star power.
He does. No, he does.
It's not even just that. Even Anya Taylor-Joy, she's not a bad actress by any means, but I don't think she has that stardom to where people come in and be like, oh, let's go see that new Anya Taylor-Joy movie.
Joy.
But I also think the placement of where these movies were not the best places, because after when you get into the season of kids graduating school and stuff, that money that would be going towards movies now gets put into other things now. That gets put into other types of camps, other types of colleges, other types of funding. and other family vacations. It's after having the movie explosion of what we had come March and stuff. I think a lot of people just had a lot of trouble trying to put out where their money was going. I mean, even look at Garfield, a kids movie. And I know kids movies are fucking nuts when it comes to box offices because I worked at theaters and every kids movie we had was insane, and Garfield did terrible. Now, yet again, that's also heartening up to the point. Star power isn't necessarily a good, like, as strong as I feel, because who really wants to go see Chris Pratt play a cat?
Who wants to go see Garfield?
You know, so
period.
that's
Garfield
another
already
thing.
had a movie with Bill Murray. Like, we don't even
Yeah.
like. Why do we need another Garfield movie?
We don't need a Garfield
Right.
movie. We don't.
You know when
So-
Garfield was really good? On Saturday mornings. Garfield was
Yes.
great on
Yeah.
Saturday mornings. I watched it all the time. Garfield and Friends. And it was Garfield
hold
and
on.
Friends.
Garfield's great on Saturday mornings and Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas.
Yeah.
Because those specials are fantastic.
Absolutely. But there's
Right.
there's no need for a big budget
I
movie
think-
with Chris Pratt. None. There's none.
I still think that placement is a big deal when it comes to these movies. And I just think the times have shifted and changed. That where we used to have big box offices, which it seemed like mostly because of the Marvel movies, now that's changed and it's not that way anymore. And we're trying to come back to that, and we're having trouble figuring that out. Because there were so many movies that came out in April, and it's not like those movies flopped, but it's not that those movies also made a lot of money either. I mean, I think Abigail was one of the only ones that made I think Abigail didn't even make that much money that they were expecting.
Abigail was Abigail was
but-
on VOD a week after it hit theaters. I know because I
Yeah.
watched it like literally at home.
Yeah.
And that's a good movie. I will push back a little bit though on the Memorial Day weekend graduation thing. That's a West Coast thing. Because guess what? Back in New York, motherfuckers are still in school. They ain't get out yet. That shit happens in June. So they're still in school.
True.
So it's not that. That's just where we're from. Wait,
Yeah.
well, let me rephrase that. Where y'all from? I'm just renting. I'm just renting in this area. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York. We don't get out until like June 6th. We fucked. Y'all motherfuckers get summer or later. Y'all motherfuckers get summer vacation mid-May. What? That's crazy. So I don't think graduation accounts for anything when it comes to this. Because there's still half a country that ain't graduate yet. That's still going on date night. When on the West Coast, people might be graduating, but there's still a whole section of the country. You know what I'm saying? That hasn't graduated yet.
And that's fair. I don't know. I don't know. And I've seen some reviews, non-spoiler on it. People are loving it. I'm sure it's a damn good movie. For me, as a Mad Max fan, I'm a Mad Max fan. I'm not a Furiosa fan. That's my take on it, and it is very niche, like the Chronicles of Riddick. It would be like a new Riddick movie getting announced, but it's about some other asshole. Like, I don't go back to Vin Diesel. Well, he's too old now. He's too Dominic Toretto now. I don't think he could even be Riddick anymore.
No, because the next
They need to
Riddick
be
movie,
Riddick.
the next Riddick movie is all about
Even-
family.
All about what?
All about family.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I was just going to say, even with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, that movie only made $306 million at the box office worldwide, and only 131 domestically.
And I was seeing the reviews for that were actually not as good as I thought it would be. That's why I haven't gotten to see it. Non-spoiler reviews, it was just like whether or not I should dedicate my time to. Certain movies like that. There are, of course, the ones I'm immediately going to go see. I don't give a fuck what people say, Godzilla being one of them. But for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I was definitely like, it's Disney. I don't know.
It's not,
And
it
yeah,
wasn't,
I've been-
it's really not Disney, man. No Disney.
No, it's not.
No
But
Disney
it's also
logo popped
not
up.
Matt Reeves anymore. It's Andy Serkis isn't involved. Like the ones that brought me to that original original trilogy, the prior trilogy, not the 60s through the 70s movies. But yeah, it's not there. And it's set way off into the future. I don't know. It's one of those where I wanted to see it, but I skipped it.
As someone who has seen it, I will say this. It starts off very respectful to the prior trilogy. They literally start off where war ended. And they have the funeral for Caesar. And then, boom, it's 300 years later or some shit. And it's a good movie. It really is a good movie. I just feel like what they tried to do was the original Planet of the Apes. That's a masterpiece. Yeah. It felt like they were going to try to mimic that. As far as length goes, it's a long fucking movie. And there's a lot of shit that could have been cut out that's unnecessary. If they would have cut that movie down to make it at least 2 hours, maybe a little bit, like 2 hours even. 2 hours even. It's a better movie. But this was almost pushing 3 hours.
Oh, fuck.
I think it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. It's a lot of nonsense. But I will say, at the end, I mean, it's not nothing crazy. I just felt that, like, as a wrestling fan, I'll put it like this. If y'all ever seen the Usos back in the day do the Samoan dance, the proud tribal dance, and that shit, they do something similar to that at the end of this movie, and I was like, oh my God, I'm all for this. That was the best, but that shit was fucking fantastic. But
did they have a lovely day?
No, they did not have a lovely day at all.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I will say this,
Hollywood's
though.
weird right now.
There was something in that movie I thought should have happened that did not happen, and that upset me. Because it was fucking ripe for it. It was ripe. You do this in this movie, and it sets up your fucking sequels. But they didn't do it.
See, I gotta watch it now. But no, I just think the state of Hollywood definitely is reflected here with Mad Max Fury Road, where it's like, sometimes, and it could just be the general audience too. They're like, "Oh, great, another explosion fest," you know.
But there was
nonsense. We've had a lot of those lately. So it could be people that are like that. I don't know. All I'm gonna say is, I'm glad people enjoy it, because I'll watch it when it comes out on VOD. Unless Rob flies here tomorrow, then we'll go watch it in theaters. Or any of you. You show up tomorrow like, hey, let's go watch it. I'll go watch it with you.
It's probably on demand. It's probably on some kind of streaming service. Or if not, you know, you can find it. Fuck! Boy Kills World is up on platforms now. And I need to watch that. I'll probably watch that tomorrow.
That's a tragedy. It only made $13 million at its box office.
Okay, you know why? You know why? No promotion. It got promoted nowhere.
True.
YouTube was the only place.
One trailer for that thing.
Yep.
And it was in the theater.
I want to touch upon this because I need to go see it, and it just dropped in the theaters. In a Violent Nature is officially out in theaters.
Yes, it is.
That's that Friday the 13th-esque movie that's from the point of view of the killer.
I thought that was a straight-to-VOD movie. Holy shit. I didn't know that was
it's in theaters first, and then it drops on Shudder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shudder's fucking pumping out some bangers. Not all of them are good, but fuck me, man.
Because they take the A24 model, right?
Yeah.
And they say less is more when you give it your all. And that's the problem with Hollywood. They don't see that. And yet it's been in front of their fucking faces for fucking 10 years now. It's been right there. Because they do it constantly. And so I read an article the other day. And I hope Game gets in here soon. I hope Drew gets in here soon. I know he's getting out of work real soon. Because I got to apologize to him. Okay? I got to apologize. Yeah, I do. I don't think I was making excuses, but he was right. in where he sees, Hollywood and how it is. I read this article and it was like, it's not it is. It's about the quality of. It's not about the people. It's about the quality of filmmaking today. Everybody wants to make a fucking blockbuster that's gonna.
I figured.
There he is.
There we go.
Do it. You see what I'm
He
saying?
heard you talking shit.
Unlimited power, bro. Unlimited power. I put the hood on. Bam. Look who shows up. Drew.
Hi.
I was just apologizing to you while you weren't here.
Oh.
Yeah, now I need to renege all that. I'm taking it all back because you're here now, and I gotta argue. No, I'm just kidding. No,
What happened?
we
Did y'all stop the live stream? Are we still live streaming?
no, we're still live streaming. Of course we are.
I don't know why.
Hi, everybody.
Gam Gams is back.
Yeah, we're unalive streaming.
So no, what we're talking about is the state of Hollywood and how the other day, me and you were going a little back and forth, right? You were saying your thing, I was saying mine. I didn't believe certain things, but no, I have to say I'm sorry. In essence, you were kind of right. I still don't believe I'm making any excuses. I'm just spitting out facts, but you were right. Hollywood feels like they need to make all their money from us right off the bat.
Yeah,
So they
do.
they-
If it doesn't make its entire budget back in the opening weekend, it's considered a flop.
and it's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, it's not correct. I don't agree with it, but that's just how the industry is right now. It's stupid.
Ridiculous.
and this is
How did we get here, though?
oh, we got here because of Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel is how we got here.
Yeah, literally. Like, and that's not no fault of Marvel because
Marvel.
they did it though. That's the problem. They fucking did it. They did it better than Fortnite. And going back to what we were talking about an hour and a half ago, they did it better than Fortnite. They did it because you know what? Fuck the naysayers. They grasped a fucking generation that kept coming back and back. Why the fuck did Titanic make the fucking money it made? I hate that movie. I can't stand Titanic. I laugh every time I see people drown in that movie.
Because I forget the actress's name, but hot woman being completely naked, being painted. That's why.
Paint me like
Winslet.
yeah, Kate Winslet. Paint me like one of your French
Listen.
girls. Yeah.
Titanic.
Kate Winslet titties is what made that movie the money.
No, I'm gonna stop you right there. You may not like Titanic, but that is actually genuinely a good fucking movie.
No, it's not.
I like that movie.
It's
I
30,
love that movie.
30 fucking hours of boring. I was sitting
What?
there like, can everybody just sink already, please? And then at the end,
Listen, this
not like
man
the Avatar
doesn't
movies
like that.
ever?
He doesn't even like Lord of the Rings. So just
Well, okay, that's
let
Okay,
the
but why
hate.
There's
do I
only
see
one
that
return, and it's
that
of the
movie's
Jedi and not the King.
Thank you, Rob.
yeah.
Thank you,
but
Rob.
here's the
Thank
problem.
you, Rob.
The
Thank you,
Jedi
Rob.
may have returned, but he died at the end.
Who did?
Well, Vader, because Return of the Jedi, he returned to being a Jedi
Rob.
and then fucking
Rob.
died.
See, you're reading too much into it. And today's data, as
okay.
you're,
Hold on.
You
Why-
don't
if
you-
you
don't you hold me on. I'm dressed as a
you
Palpatine.
don't like Titanic because they're long and boring, then why do you like Peter Jackson's King Kong?
That's a good movie.
Because there's monsters in it. A lot of monsters. There's a lot of
Oh, you're
exploration.
The
You're
original.
biased.
I'm totally biased. I'm getting called out on the podcast. Oh my god, my voice is coming back. I'm not sick anymore. What the fuck?
My version of Titanic, Godzilla crashes the ship.
Oh, that was a great fucking crossover comic book. Thank you, Dark Horse.
Thank you, Dark Horse. Good zoo type.
Very cool.
No, listen, I like Peter Jackson's Kong. That's my honestly. That's no, that is my favorite Jack. That when that movie came out, it became my favorite Peter Jackson movie. But before that, my favorite Peter Jackson movie was Dead Alive.
Well,
Because
of course.
I kick ass for the Lord.
Probably to this day, the movie with the most blood and guts in it at all ever.
Absolutely. And God, fucking the pus monkey, the monkey bite and the pus shooting out into the porridge and they're eating it and they're just like, what the fuck is this? And it's just like,
why Arrow?
what?
Please, I want a physical copy of Dead Alive. I'm getting pissed.
I own
Please,
it.
Arrow.
Dude, I have a physical copy of that.
Dude, that you can't find that shit's been out of print for like nearly fucking 15 years.
So I have a DVD. It's not a Blu-ray, but I do own the DVD, Dead Alive.
That's because it's never been put out on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
And
Arrow
it's a
should
damn
get on
shame.
that. Arrow should, if anybody, Arrow should get on that.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, that's right.
I remember the old VHS box art for Dead Alive with the woman stretching apart her lips with the skull in her mouth.
Yep.
Yeah, burned into my memory. Blockbuster kids.
Pegasus Video. This guy right here.
Oh,
Hastings for me.
Man.
Oh,
Hastings. Holy
Don't
shit.
say Hastings. I miss it every day.
I miss them every day, bro.
Holy shit.
So-
Hastings.
Funny enough, there's actually a store in my mall called Entertain Mart. They're fucking Hastings. It's actually the original owner of Hastings creating a new chain of stores called Entertain Mart. It's just Hastings again.
Thank God for that. We need to
Yeah, the
entertain more
store-
up here in Butte.
The store inside the mall, they're talking about getting a physical location outside the mall because their inventory is blowing up. Used DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, books, anime, figures. They're talking about getting clothes. They got vinyl records, CDs. I'm there every weekend shopping. Comics? Yes, they have a shit ton of comics.
Hell yeah.
Dude, and games. So many used and new games, consoles. I'm there every Saturday. I hate the mall. I go in there to that fucking store. It's great.
Oh, I need that store to come up here.
Oh, dude.
I have an FYE and a place called The Cave, which used to be Dimple Records.
The Cave.
Really?
No. Okay, so we had a place
Yeah.
called The Wall. Back in, well, it was in Staten Island, but it was called The Wall. And that place had all records and movies, and that shit was dope. Like, I used to love going in there. But that was in Staten Island, so I had to travel, and I hate Staten Island. But I digress.
yeah, Staten Island's not that fun.
Yeah. No.
We're like Staph Infection Island.
Yeah, it sits on a fucking garbage dump. People don't believe me. My father moved us there when I was going into the second grade, and I was like, "What the fuck is that smell?" It's a fucking garbage dump. They dumped all the garbage from New York City in Staten Island. What the fuck?
That's terrible.
And-
That's terrible.
And then it became a town.
But no, like going back to the topic that I walked in on, friggin' thank you for the apology because it's absolutely true that people aren't going to the movies right now because they can't afford it.
Not only that, but do you think it's also because there's really nothing? Like we were talking about Furiosa. Why did that bomb? You think it's because people couldn't afford to go see Furiosa? Because people afforded to go see Godzilla X Kong. And I'm not, all the biases aside.
I feel like Godzilla Kong was the movie where everybody just finally realized, wow, movies are expensive. Because that was the movie where I realized that. Because I took my partner and two of his nephews, and it costed me over $80 to get all four people in there with popcorn and drinks and things like that.
And that wasn't even was that a premium theater?
No, that's just my local theater. The movie tickets themselves are only $7. It's the concessions that literally ruin it, dude.
So the wifey and me went IMAX. Both of our tickets combined were $40. So it's $40 for her and me to go see it in IMAX. And then they have the fucking collectible bucket and the cup, which was $50 around there. $60. So I buy mine, that's $60. She buys hers, that's $60. So how much is that?
That's like over $100.
Yeah. It's an insane amount. Granted, refilled popcorn and drink, except No, they filled it. Oh, hold on. Oh, hers was 30, mine was 30. Sorry. So it's $30 each, so 60. So it's 40 for the tickets, 60 in total for both of us to have our own shit. It's still fucking almost $100.
Yeah.
And that's for one IMAX showing. Did we need that shit? No. Absolutely not.
You telling
But
me?
I'm glad we did.
You telling me
Look at
this
that
Kong ain't
Look at
badass?
that
You
monkey.
telling me that this is my favorite? Actually, this is my favorite version of Evolved Godzilla.
Their Godzilla
Like, this
looks
is dope.
normal. Ours looks like Play-Doh. It's terrible. Fucking Regal. But yeah, no. Going to see movies are expensive. Her and me went to go see, which is in the top 10 of 2024. Definitely on my list. The anime movie Spy X Family Code White. For her and me to go just to see it in a theater because it was a fucking Fathom event. $40.
Yeah, dude,
It's expensive.
It's
Expensive.
I could be using that money towards bills or groceries, man.
Yeah, and then if you go on the fucking $5 Tuesday where, like, for instance, I tried to do that with Dungeons and Dragons, that's where all the annoying people are. And I get my fucking money back because I'm like, they don't shut the fuck up. So even on the cheaper day, it's a nightmare.
You know what-
Theaters.
You know what kills me? It's like y'all motherfuckers
Go
never
ahead.
heard of a fucking matinee Sunday. Like, come on.
They don't do them where I live.
How?
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on,
My,
man.
So-
my theater doesn't really open until
So-
like 2 p.m.
All right,
Yeah, so
there's
the
still
only
a matinee.
time
The
we
first
get
show is always a
matinee
matinee.
showings.
The first show is always a matinee. It don't matter what time it opens. The first show is the matinee.
So the problem with the matinees where I live is, for instance, like Spy X Family they won't do a Fathom event matinee. So when
I get that because it's only
Yeah.
like 3 shows per day. I remember when Shin Godzilla was
so
that.
when you
I
do
get it.
like Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, for instance, you go see it in matinee. Yeah, it's cheaper. There's less people, but that's when you get the old people who fall asleep and snore.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Every
You're talking
single
about a
time.
theater.
I'm
You're
not
talking about a
upset
theater
at
that's
the
like
old person.
200 seat theater, bro. Come on. You can't be sitting next to that one guy that fell asleep and snored. You just can't be. You can't be.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Where I live,
Hey, but even if,
hold on.
even if the tickets themselves are cheap, the concessions are just ridiculous. I
The
want
concessions,
popcorn. I want soda with my movie, and
But that's why you
Yeah.
gotta sneak this shit in. I mean, come on. You go to your
This
local
motherfucker-
supermarket.
Exactly.
You go to your local
Steaks and
supermarket.
barbecued ribs.
You buy-
I guarantee it.
You go to your local supermarket. You buy Raisinets, 2 for $3. You go to fucking movies. You buy a popcorn and a soda. You got your Raisinets. Bam. You want nachos? You buy a bag of
you get
Doritos.
Mellow Yellow.
You
Be
bag
a
of
man.
Yeah, exactly. Be a man. Thank you, Chase. Stop being fucking big. Come on, man. Come on.
No.
I sneak in my shit. We sneak in our fair share of shit. The problem is well, I don't really go to concessions, but this one does. This one needs the soda and the popcorn. This one.
As someone who's worked in the theater division for several years, what I'll say is the concession stand only that is all the theater because that's all that goes to the theater.
yeah, the movie tickets themselves goes like 10% to the theater, and then the rest to the movie studio.
Paying $7 a soda and $8 for a popcorn, maybe 13 now. Like a couple months ago when I was working there, it was like the largest popcorn was like $13 and stuff. It is very expensive, and it's just unfortunate because that also comes down to wages and the theaters not getting money to pay their employees, and it's sad, but yeah, it is a big problem of how expensive concessions have gotten.
I got
really
on.
doesn't help that my theater is a rundown piece of shit where the screens are literally deteriorating.
No,
The
that
screens are literally breaking.
that right
Just
there.
move where I live.
That's what pisses me off. That's what pisses me off. If you live in a town and that right there, if you live in a town where, your local theater is not up to standards to like, fuck a Regal, a UA theater. Rob might get he might understand that one.
A United Artists.
Yes, you get it.
Yeah.
Then we're fucked up. They can't be charging. You can't be charging
I
surge
still have a
prices.
United Artist.
Why are you quiet?
Because I'm hearing you smash food, man. What you eating?
Oh, sorry. I'm eating an empanada. I'm snacking on it every now and then.
It sounds like you're eating like a Laffy Taffy or something.
I didn't think I was that loud. Shit. Sorry. I apologize.
I thought someone had like water dropping in their room.
Look, this is what we do. We eat the movie theaters. We eat them.
We eat them.
What are we, fucking Pac-Man? What are we, Pixels?
Yes. Yeah, we're Kirby.
No. Yeah, Kirby, that's a good one. Listen, and here's the thing. I totally get it. Going what Gam Gam said. When your theater is run down and it's not state-of-the-art or nowhere near state-of-the-art, to pay those prices, that's ridiculous. I absolutely agree. Unfortunately, the reality is you live in a town that does have a rundown theater where they're going to say, well, what are you going to do? Drive an hour and a half to see a premium fucking event? Or see a movie in a premium theater? That's fucked up. What I would do is...
I mean, that's what most folk in this town do nowadays, because like every time I've gone to see Godzilla Kong, it's not been that packed. People don't go to the theater even when they live here. They go to Missoula. They go to Bozeman to go to the movies. It's just unfortunate, and there's like no management there. There's only just teenagers running the place.
Oh my God, that sounds like, to me, someone who has a knowledge base should run up in that motherfucker and take over. Ahem, ahem. Ahem, ahem.
Well, the mall's just been bought, so they might lose their place.
Oh, someone bought the mall?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Oh.
Now
They should invade Montana?
it's based in the mall.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I don't know. Look.
So invade Montana?
Yes. The smog monster...
Wait.
The smog monster showed that people will still go to the theater. It's the current state, A, of what's playing in the theater, B, the prices of the theater. That's going to be the determining factor, because we all know Disney upped their prices for the showing of their Marvel movies. That happened, 2-3 years ago. So the Marvel movies cost more, so everyone else followed suit. Fine, okay. The concessions are already expensive. I don't get anything. The wifey gets her small popcorn and her soda. We can share it if we eat it. If not, it's whatever. But the theaters are having a hard time, just the same way that, look, there's a lot of parallels with today's podcast.
Yeah.
Gaming in Hollywood, movie theaters and streaming, parallels. Streaming services are expensive as hell, and there's too many of them. And
That's
a lot of the time, the movies aren't even going on there anymore for a couple of months, up to a year sometimes. And then there's some, like Disney, who still charges you a premium for the service and then charges you extra to watch movies that'll drop in theaters. That's ridiculous to me. So I think the way to fix movie theaters is to lower the prices for the tickets a bit. We got to. It's going to have to happen if we're going to save movie theaters. Movie theaters need to get it together. They need to definitely do maintenance and cleaning. Drew, I 100% agree with you. There's a lot of theaters around me that are the same way. But lowering the prices, but give us an incentive. Like Regal and AMC has a go see as many movies you want for like 20 bucks a month.
Yep.
And the Regal one for me, it never clicked because it was $20 for up to, I believe it was 2 people. and it excludes IMAX, fine. I don't get a discount for IMAX, which bothers me, and it excludes Fathom events, which I don't understand that. You could at least discount the ticket prices for the Fathom events, but it doesn't. Okay, so it's just standard viewings, fine. AMC's a better, from what I understand, a way better deal. So you offer something like that, but that also doesn't make money. So lower the ticket prices. It's like streaming services need to lower their prices. The theaters need to do something more. Give better deals. Because I'm sorry, a $5 Tuesday ain't cutting it. A matinee, sometimes it works, but it doesn't for every release. So it bothers me. So just, I don't know. It's gotten so expensive. The parallel's there, man.
This is just another like instance of the inflation discussion. Like just overall prices for everything right now. Inflation's just terrible right now,
It is,
man.
And I'm just saying, like, as far as the theaters, you know, sometimes it's annoying. Sometimes because people are always on their phones in the theater. Like, you guys know this. I have a lot of bad experiences. I voice them in the group chat. I voice them when we podcast. People make it insufferable. So I think also theaters need to take the fact that people are paying money to watch a movie in your place a bit more serious. And then people need to stop being such self-righteous jackasses and get off the phone and shut the hell up. It's not your living room. And that's where that streaming service thing comes into play. So if you're not making the money in the theater, a movie's flopping because of unrealistic expectation, the movie's flopping. Then release it on a streaming service. Don't charge me $20 fucking to watch it. Because
So what you're saying is we need more Alamo draft houses who have a zero tolerance policy on talking and phones, and they just kick you out.
Absolutely. I would be 100% down with that, because as much as I loved watching Spy X Family Code White, there were 3 adult women in the back of the theater that have never had theater etiquette before. And I was so close to throwing a popcorn at their face.
There's your problem, though. There's your problem. They were in the back of the theater, not you. I'm always in the back of the theater, guys.
No. Even when I'm in the back of the theater, there's always someone in front of me that's doing it.
Listen, the odds cannot be that, man. It just can't. If that's the case, then we are talking to you live from hell. Live from hell.
I think I'm in hell. I genuinely think so. Listen, the wifey can attest. She was there. She was getting mad too. But look, Furiosa.
It's not just Furiosa. It's just Hollywood
I know,
in general.
it's all movies.
What are we doing? Like, how does Hollywood fix itself? Because honestly,
Hollywood, they need to get their budgets down, man. Because
budgets
that's
need to
why
come
the
down.
ticket prices increase too. Because these ridiculous budgets, the expectation, it's going to make the money back. But then people like me are like, yeah, it looks pretty, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to go watch that fucking Friday the 13th wannabe movie.
take the Fall Guy, for example. You make a rom-com.
Okay.
Rom-coms are perfect for date nights. They make good money, right? Like, rom-coms are really good. You can make a rom-com for real cheap, depending on who you cast, right? The cast might be the most expensive part of your rom-com. But if you make a rom-com that's going to have...
usually the most expensive part of any movie.
Well, special effects nowadays, because look, you look at GXK, and you're like, who's in the cast?
Well, they saved the money on the cast because they didn't have any big name people like Billy Bobby Brown or Bryan Cranston or anything like that.
And I still think Millie Bobby Brown wasn't as big as a name as people thought. They just thought because of Stranger Things, and she was like, yeah, because of Stranger Things, I want 3,000 million. What? Shut up, little fuck out of here, bro. Your name is synonymous with cocaine. Your name is synonymous with cocaine and Killer Whitney Houston. Just saying.
It's Millie Bobby Brown smear.
Wait, did you say Whitney Houston?
I did.
No,
Was she in
Millie Bobby
Beyond?
Brown's there.
Oh, was she in Beyond Thunderdome?
No, that was oh my god, Tina Turner.
Tina Turner. Okay, thank you.
Anyhow, what
I've
I'm
been
trying to
mixing
say
up
is,
Whitney Houston and Tina Turner like for 2 weeks. You're right. It's Tina Turner.
I know I'm right. It's Tina Turner. I know.
Yeah, I know.
You don't wanna
Listen,
know
you're beautiful.
me.
I love you.
All right, I'm hanging up. But is this Alex on the fucking thing? Just tell him to get in the damn chat. Fuck. But I digress. Shit, where was I going? See, this is the problem. So I'm on
I'm
medication.
sorry. I said I loved you. That's the problem.
I'm on
I
medication.
tell him I love
I'm
him.
doing things.
His
I shouldn't
train
be
of thought's
doing.
gone because he knows the hot tub stream we're going to do together is going to be fantastic. Just a deep inhale and a sigh.
Chemically burned by forehead.
I was going somewhere and I forgot. I forgot where I was going, but I was going. Now I'm off a cliff now.
It's okay. You know, Cliffhanger. That's a movie.
I got to do this. So I could
We got to all talk about Sylvester Stallone movies now.
regain my thoughts. Regroup.
You
Talk about Tulsa King and how you should stream it if you have Paramount Plus.
Polka King?
Tulsa King.
Oh, I thought you said Polka King. I was like, what?
I would definitely watch a movie starring Sylvester Stallone called Polka King. That'd be
Oh,
great.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's just playing bar mitzvah music.
With-
It's fantastic.
with music by Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh my god,
dude.
wait. We're making this movie's at least worth 300 mil. I'm just saying.
$1 billion after a month. $1 billion right there.
$1 billion.
So I'm curious about this Godzilla -1.
Whoa! Well, we talking
Yeah.
Godzilla now.
I gotta go like really soon, so that's why I'm trying to. If you want me to talk about that, I gotta do it sooner. I gotta not be a part of it.
Well, what is this Godzilla -1?
Wait, what about -1?
Well, it appears that it is going to be on streaming very, very soon. As of today, Toho has teased it is coming soon, and the reports within the last few days have been that it is hitting streaming on VOD with Netflix, Apple TV, Prime Video, Google Play, and other streaming services, and it is already on Netflix in China and in Australia as of today. So we're wondering, is it going to be coming out? Because if it comes out on streaming, it's supposed to be slated for tomorrow.
Ooh.
Listen, -1 drops tomorrow on streaming. I have 2 friends of mine that have been wanting to see it, couldn't join us in the theater. That's going to be fun tomorrow.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun day.
I wonder if it will be the third, since it will be exactly a month from -1 hitting Japan release.
Yeah. I think it'd be smart, but after that, can they please announce a physical release date?
Please.
Right.
Wait a
I would
second.
like to think that they would announce all of that together, because I hope it's not a thing where it's like, oh yeah, it's just going to be on streaming for now, and then in November we're going to announce its physical release. Like, no.
I hope that studios are not putting the rights to who distributes it, but that could be an issue too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as of right now. That's that's old story right now.
Listen, Criterion should have just got the rights to distribute it physically. It's
Wait,
not.
I've been saying.
Who did?
But the thing is, this is the thing, is that they're saying that it's also going to be dubbed. So if that's the case, then if it's going to be dubbed, then that means the dub's done. So why not just release it physically?
Yeah, right?
I'm telling you why. I'll tell you why right now. It's easier to make some money off of it by putting it on streaming services now while they print the physical releases, because that does take time.
That's true.
Because
That's true.
it does
Very
take time. That's why, like, for instance, the Japanese release, I looked into buying the Japanese 4K. There was no subtitles. There was no American subtitles on it.
Oh, yeah,
It
they-
wasn't dubbed.
that on the package.
They never do that.
Yeah. So I sit here and you have to wait for the American release to get the subtitles and the dub, whatever you prefer to watch. That takes extra time. And I truly believe that's what's taking forever is they had to dub it, they had to add the subtitles, and then they have to print it, and now they're selling.
Haha, I get it.
I'm watching
There we go.
Jurassic
I
Park right
was
now.
waiting for it. It's like the third time I've done that this week. Nobody gets it. Nobody cares.
No.
What are you talking about? I'm watching Jurassic Park right now. I caught that right when you started saying it, Mr.
Listen.
Goldblum.
I know. I love you. I'm sorry. I love you too.
But I guess it just, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's actually coming this weekend, or we think it's still a little ways off?
I hope it's coming this weekend so that I can finally enjoy it without being a filthy pirate. Because it's all on Toho right now. I want to buy this movie, but I can't buy it right now. Thus, I'm being a filthy pirate. I don't want to, so let me buy it, please.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
See what I did there? I did like a fucking quick edit on the. Hey, Godzilla -1 coming to Netflix. Is that true?
I mean,
He said a quick edit. It's taken fucking 15 minutes.
Listen, the fact of the matter is, I had to find the right
Weird
look.
that we
I had to
shadow
find
drop,
it.
though. If I was Netflix, I wouldn't just shadow drop this movie because everyone's been waiting for it, especially with how well it's being pirated. You think you put a trailer, get people hyped for a week, and then drop it?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Is like that's why it's interesting because you think Toho wouldn't just shadow drop a movie that they're still trying to make money off of.
Yeah.
But yet
Yeah.
again, with streaming doesn't really necessarily matter because at the end of the day, if it's going to be on VOD or Netflix for free, it's going to be there for you whether you want it or not. So, I mean, I don't know if it's really that big of a deal thinking about it, but it's just really weird that it would be just a surprise thing. But maybe that's part of the strategy. Surprise drop, everybody watches it, and yeah.
Like I said, man, I think it's definitely because that's what movie companies do. They put their movie on the streaming first, and then it's like, oh, well, we're doing a physical release like a month or two later. I think it's going to be one of those instances. They take that time. It's probably taken all this time to get those physical copies ready, and I think that's what's going to happen. Now, as far as stealth dropping, that's weird, but at the same time, not really.
I can
Because
see Toho doing it.
yeah, Toho's weird. Toho's like Konami. They're like Konami. We're around the whole thing. Godzilla, Silent Hill, they're parallel. That's the thing. Parallel lines today. They
Does
just
anyone
do
remember-
shit.
Or does anyone
I mean,
remember if
I
Godzilla got that treatment?
because they're out of touch.
What'd you say, Alex?
I said, does anyone remember if Shin Godzilla got that shadow drop treatment or anything like that?
Oh no, it just came out on Blu-ray. It never. I don't even think it went to streaming.
Hit
It
Netflix
did. It was on
streaming.
Crunchyroll for a hot minute. And then just recently, like a couple months ago, Crunchyroll actually finally dropped Shin Godzilla,
Well,
so it's
it's-
not on anything right now.
Yeah.
It was on Netflix as well, but it had a media announcement following it. It wasn't just shadow dropped. It was there, and for like they announced it like a month ahead that it's coming this date.
Yeah, well, and we just had that Godzilla event a couple of weeks back, and they were talking about how -1 was going on to streaming in Japan. I just think it's gonna hit streaming, and I really think we're gonna get a physical release. Look, Rob's got a physical release. Let's go. Exactly.
What?
Listen, don't watch it on streaming. Wait till the physical release. Be a man.
Why?
Listen. I want to watch it now, and I want to
Yeah,
give
man.
Toho as much money as possible
Yeah,
for
man.
the wonderful movie that they released. And streaming and digital releases is like, I'm pretty sure 100% profit for the movie studio. So.
It is, but be a man.
Wait, is it though? Really? Like, does not?
So
No,
six-
Netflix probably takes like a 15-20% cut.
16 hours ago, Netflix put a listing for Godzilla Minus One. It is not available for viewing yet, but it is there as an updated title. 6 months after its limited release, Toho's Minus One is finally coming home, and sooner than you think. When to stream? VOD outlets like Apple, Amazon, Google, and other digital storefronts, Saturday, June 1st. It's available on Netflix Australia as of this morning, and China. The digital version of Minus One will be available in Japanese with English subtitles. The Netflix release includes English, Italian, French, and Spanish dubs as well. So that dub may appear in the US VOD release. Now, mind you, none of this is from anywhere official. This is the problem I have. None of this is from anywhere official. But the only thing following up that is official is the fact that Toho did put a teaser of Godzilla Minus One coming soon today, as we all saw. It's like, my problem that I have with this is, why not just validate what's going on? Why not just tell us? Why make it a thing where we have to wait? If it comes tomorrow, why not just tell us tonight, like, especially if it's for the U.S. audience, that tomorrow you could watch it instead of saying, just wait. You know, I mean, because if you just wait till tomorrow to drop it and then tell us at the same time, I just think that's just, like, why?
Well, I'll tell you why.
really?
I'll tell you why.
Weird.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. It's the same reason why you have, certain, top tier singers and entertainers dropping albums without nobody knowing. You know what I'm saying? It's the same reason why Toe's trying to buy into that. If that is the case, but you look at something like Beyonce and Taylor Swift. Oh, I think even Kanye West might have done it, and I'm not trying to be politically incorrect here, but you have like musicians that do these random midnight drops out of nowhere. Fucking Eminem did one last night. Eminem literally did one last night. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Houdini was fire. But I'm not... All I'm saying is maybe that's what Toe's trying to do.
The chase though on this though, I think it's kind of weird, especially with say midnight is, say that it was less than 12 hours ago they announced this or teased it with this picture. It's kind of weird that why at this point why not just say okay it's coming up on June 1st because we're just mere hours away from it.
Because again, like I said, maybe they're trying to buy into that whole musicians shit where musicians randomly drop
what
an
you're
album.
saying is they're trying to do a shadow drop talk factor.
That's it. Thank you. Shadow drop. That's it. Thank you. See, you're younger than me. I don't understand that shit. But that's it. Shadow drop lingo, baby.
Shadow drop from when I heard you on the radio. Totally different situations.
Dude, I think that's
did we
exactly.
talk about Ifukube's birthday yet? Happy birthday, Ifukube. Rest in peace.
Wait. When is that?
It's today.
That's today?
Yeah.
Shadow drop in GMO. Here we go. That's it, bro. If there was ever a fucking...
Also, the anniversary of isn't it King of the Monsters? No, that came out the 29th, didn't it, of May?
Yeah,
2019,
Memorial Day, which again, King of the Monsters.
So there you go. Memorial Day is not a good month to put movies out anymore.
It wasn't, but
Really
it wasn't
not.
the date's fault. They had an X-Men movie come out the same way G14 had the same thing. There was an X-Men movie that came out right after it. It's not fair.
What X-Men movie came out in 2014? Was it Days of Future Past?
Yeah, that bullshit piece of shit movie. Fucking hate it. I might be mad biased, but I fucking hate it. That movie's stupid. You
I
ever
mean,
watch
they
it?
did kind of ruin that whole storyline.
Yeah, you ever
Like,
seen
I
it?
love that story in the comics.
You talk about bad time travel movies in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Just watch Days of Future Past. Just watch that movie. It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. Oh, I hate it. Ooh. But I digress. I'll come back down. If Godzilla Minus One comes to Netflix or any streaming services, whether to purchase or not tomorrow, oh, dude, I'm fucking ecstatic. I'm over the
And
moon.
that's another thing. That's another thing that kind of confuses me is, okay, if it's going to drop on Netflix for free, why is it still going to be on Apple and Prime and all these other places if you have to pay for it?
No, you
That's
gotta.
like,
No. You gotta
Well,
understand.
it's good for Netflix for subscribers, so you're paying
Right.
a monthly fee.
Right. Exactly. So
And if you don't have Netflix but still want to watch the movie, well, you got to buy it.
right. It's just like how Marvel lended Spider-Man out to Sony, and then when Marvel wanted to use Spider-Man in the MCU, Sony was like, "Well, pay me. Pay me. You sold the rights to Spider-Man movies for me, so you want to use them? Pay us." And they did. That's the same thing. So it's like if Netflix will be the exclusive streaming home for Minus One, but you don't have Netflix, well then you can buy it on Amazon or Apple or whatever streaming service you can find it on. But if you have Netflix, you already bought into it. Toho is like, yo, you want this Netflix? Pay us. And Netflix will say, okay. Because again, Academy Award winning. If that wasn't the case, Netflix
I mean-
would be like, no, forget that shit. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
I mean, it'd be a better, it'd be probably the best Godzilla offering that Netflix currently has, if this is true and it's coming to Netflix.
That's fucked up, man. Singular Point is good, man. Singular Point is
Listen,
good.
I love Singular Point in the anime trilogy. Minus One's just better.
It is. No, you're right. All right, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
They have
You're right.
a few
1,000 times.
Godzilla movies on Netflix right now, actually. Like, they have 2014 and stuff, too.
Minus One's better.
You know what's funny? This morning on YouTube, on a Toku Shout channel, they were doing fucking
Yeah,
live
they're
streams.
streaming Godzilla movies.
Yeah, dude, I watched Godzilla vs. Gigan this morning, and then they had Ultraman, and then they had fucking Zoo Ranger, and I was like, oh shit, I had to stand up. Zoo Ranger's on.
Yeah.
Gotta watch this shit.
Go shout.
It was just weird. Like, where did that come from? Like, all of a sudden, today they were live streaming these things.
But no, they're live streaming like a bunch of different things. Like they have like, I guess you could almost call them live channels. Like they have Godzilla and Friends. They have Ultraman, a live stream going on right now. They have Kamen Rider.
Yes, I did
Nothing
see
but
that
Kamen
too.
Rider.
Yep. I did see that. But you know what's crazy? Again, it's crazy. Godzilla had 2 channels it was on. But they were the same exact channels as like Toku Shout and then Shout Factory, I think. I don't remember. But because...
Yeah. Shout Factory and Tokushoutsu.
Okay. Because I was like...
Yeah, and that's also technically streaming. Excuse me, it's technically streaming on Freebie as well. If you have that service.
So here's the deal. I watched Godzilla vs. Gigan. When I clicked on the live stream, it gave me a 15-second commercial. I was like, okay, here we go. But once that was finished, no ads. No ads. And I was literally like an hour still for the movie. And then it went right into Godzilla vs. Hedorah. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay. That I like. It was different from Pluto. And don't get me wrong, I like Pluto because it gives me the nostalgia of
Yeah, but
ads.
like having the other shows in between the Godzilla movies is so nice.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you know what? Holy shit.
Are you listening, Pluto? Where is the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla show and the 98 show that you fucking promised? I'm still mad.
Never coming.
Super 7, get on that Godzilla the series line. Come on, Super 7, you can do it.
Yeah,
We
get
got
it together, Super 7. Holy shit.
We got
With that being said, friends, it is now my time to go. I have to leave.
Wow, that's funny because
Yeah,
I
you
was
did, man.
about to say the same thing. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're calling it here. 3 hours in, that's not a bad time. We gonna rock and roll on another thing. But Brother Chase, thank you for joining us.
Oh, absolutely. It was a blast.
Brother
An
JR.
atomic blast.
Brother JR, thank you for joining us.
Listen, play Silent Hill 2 Remake. Be a man.
I knew he was gonna go there. Gans, Brother Gans, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me in the sparse times that I would pop in. You know, came in on my break. You know, work, all that.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Brother Alex, thank you for joining us in the short amount of time you did.
I know. I'm sorry. I was at work, but at least I got to see the end of it. So.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Brother Rob, thank you for doing the transmissions, the stenographer for everything we were talking about while we were talking for the last 3 hours. Thank you.
Absolutely. It was something I needed to do either way, and I was glad to do it and talk about it on here because I do love and enjoy Silent Hill. So worth it, always.
And that'll do it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. This is the G Show live stream on